Hello. It's me, and it's just me today. Fair warning. I don't know what's going to happen on this stream. I don't know. I mean, I have some ideas as to what we're going to do, but I don't know how successful those things are going to be. As another fair warning, I also have food next to me because I was hungry and I got it beforehand. So I will be eating throughout this stream because I'm a hungry boy. I have to go through obligatory plugs at the start. As usual, nothing crazy. Socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. TikTok is the main one. That's important. Instagram is doing great, Lydia. You do a fantastic job on all of the things that you do. Twitter is there. And people have been following us on Twitter. I don't know why, but they have. Other than that, we also have a website. Our website, www.thepaperdungeon.com. We have a merchandise store on there if you want to buy shirts or hats, things that have our logo on them, as well as various other products. You can do that. That's awesome. We would love if you do that. Speaking of stores, Lydia also has a store. LydiaCorinne.com, I think? It's .com. Where she sells a whole bunch of her cool art. By the way, she did all of the art for everything else that we've done, including our own merch store. So she's got a super bunch of cool stuff going on in her store, pillows and all sorts of things like that. We have a Discord. If you aren't in the Discord, what are you doing? I was hanging out with Skyros earlier today on my way to go get my food. Had a super great time. We were on there last night. It was awesome. Discord is popping. Also, I think we hit several goals today on various things. Am I right on that one? I think we hit like 600 followers somewhere, and then 8,000 on TikTok or something like that. Some absurd number of people that follow and watch our stuff. I don't remember the exact numbers, but 800 followers on Twitch. That's the one. Thanks, Lydia, for covering my back there. Thank you for all the support. 6K on TikTok? Okay, I was 2K off, but still 6K. It's pretty poppin', if you ask me. Yeah, so thank you for all the support. Everyone in the cast appreciates it greatly. It helps us do more of the stuff that you hopefully enjoy watching. I hope that's why you follow us and not because you're like, I want to follow these people so I can watch them burn. Ooh, we're only 44 away from 800 subs on YouTube. God dang. See, Lydia, it's in the brain. It's there. I'm remembering. I had the right numbers, wrong order. So I'm sure that there's other things that I should be plugging. I can't really remember them. Normally, I would plug the fact that we have a sponsor, but I believe that the Kickstarter ended today. You should still check them out. Do anything that you can to help them out. I don't know if they have additional ways of I don't know if they have a store or anything. Regal Rollers, super cool. They make dice. Their Kickstarter ended today. I know because I got the notification that it was hey, our Kickstarter ended today. But we are super thankful to them for sponsoring us. We like them, they like us. Go check them out. Help them out any way that you can. They're awesome. Yeah, Lydia beat you to the punch, Maz. Sorry. But so, what's exactly on the docket today? That's an excellent question, Aaron. Thank you for asking. What is on the docket today is I would like to try something that I like to do in my own personal time, and make song characters. So one of the things that I enjoy doing and when I'm bored, I'll just think of something, or when I hear a song that I specifically like, I'll go through the lyrics and I will build a character around the lyrics in the song. Such things, like some of them are a lot easier than other ones, so you have like Pinball Wizard. Pinball Wizard is pretty easy to make into a Dungeons & Dragons character. Obviously a wizard subclass, then you just have to find the lyrics in the song that let you kind of get a vibe as for how we're doing. And so yeah, so Maz, you're right on the money. You've got the exact idea that I'm going on here. I want you guys to suggest songs to me. Now, I don't know how exactly, I wish I had a better system for like picking which song, because I don't want to do first come, first serve, because that seems a little unfair. But yeah, I want you all to, I should get out like a notebook or something and I can write them down. Oh, hey look, a convenient notebook that Lydia no longer sells. Let me flip to a page in here. Pencil. But yeah, I want you guys to recommend me songs. Also, this helps me because I'm always looking for new music to listen to. Recommend me songs that have good lyrics or bad lyrics, or pretty much anything that you think could be made into a character or you don't think could be made into a character. I'm willing to try whatever. I can't guarantee success here. I'm not that skilled, but I'm gonna give it a shot. So when you have an idea in mind as for a song that you want me to try to make a character out of, put it in the chat. All right, so Maz, while the rest of the things come in, I'll start with Devil Went Down to Georgia. Now here's my question for you, Maz. Which character am I making? Am I making the devil or am I making Johnny? Underworld. I assume I know the answer. We're just going to... Alright, let me write down these. So, Devil Went Down to Georgia, Underworld, Never Gonna Give You Up. Fate Goes. And then Angel Wings by Social Distortion. Also, I love these. Song names are so cool to me. Like, awesome. Alright. We're going to start off. Devil Went Down to Georgia. I'm gonna make sure that I have all the books on hand that I need. Let's see. And I'm going to need to look up the lyrics. So an interesting thing that if I knew more of how pretty much anything worked, especially on Twitch, I would be more comfortable with doing this. But there is a chance that in the future, if I'm more safe and comfortable with Twitch policy and everything like that, that we would actually be able to listen to the song on stream. Reason being is that this would be considered transformative. It would be considered commentary. We are analyzing the lyrics, which isn't listening to the song for the purpose of just wanting to listen to the song. So it would avoid copyright, but I'm not entirely sure of that. And I don't want to have to go to the effort to figure that out. Also, this isn't my personal channel, so I'm less willing to risk that in that situation. Yes, I would love to also like do something through Discord or just do something through Discord, Maz. I'm terrible at tech and I'm not exactly sure how that works. So, yes, this would, like, YouTube would be a lot more accessible to do than just Twitch for this specific type of video. I'm just testing things out. All right. So we're going to start off, Devil Went Down to Georgia. For for those of you who don't know the song, this song's great. Maz, if you wanna hook that up in the Discord, go for it. I will not stop you. This is another great reason for you to join our Discord, guys. So, first thing, we're going to look at the general story of the song. Story songs are the easiest ones to make characters out of because they have action, they have character, they define people, and they describe things. The general story of Devil Went Down to Georgia, it's in the title of the song. Devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind because he was way behind and he was looking to make a deal. When he came across this young man sawing on a fiddle and playing it hot, Devil jumped up on a hickey stump, said, "Boy, let me tell you what." The first verse doesn't really give us a whole lot of information about the boy, aka Johnny. Does tell you a bit about the story of what's going on. So Devil comes down, he sees some kid playing the fiddle. It's the devil. He's going to challenge him to a game. Guess you didn't know, but I'm a fiddle player too, and if you care to take a dare, I'll make a bet with you. Now, you play a pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil his due. Bet a fiddle of gold against your soul, because I think I'm better than you. Bow, bow, bow. Great song. So here's where we get a little bit of the actual information of the character we're gonna make. The boy said, "My name's Johnny, and it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet, and you're gonna regret, because I'm the best there's ever been." Wow, wow, wow. The chorus comes in. This is a third party talking to Johnny. "Johnny, rousing up your bow and play your fiddle hard, 'cause hell's broke loose in Georgia and the devil deals cards. And if you win, you get this shiny fiddle made of gold. But if you lose, the devil gets your soul." So, now that we're at this point in time, this is just a backstory. This is already just a character backstory. We don't have to do a whole lot of work or manipulation on this. Johnny is clearly a bard. Starts off level 1, leveled in bard. I like to do a full character, like if I were to play this character to level 20, how would we math it out? So we start off in bard. Most likely, because the devil's looking to make a deal, we're going to subclass into something else. He doesn't stay full bard the whole time. So the devil starts. He plays his song. It's real jazzy and boom, 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 boom. There's some bass. It's great. Devil finishes. Johnny goes in. "Far on the mountain, run, boys, run. Devil's in the house of the rising sun. Chicken in the bread pan, picking out dough. Granny does your dog bite, no child, no." Non-demonic violin piece. That's literally what it says. And he beats the devil. That's our story. Easy character. All right. Thank you for starting me off with a one that is simple and makes sense. Let me see. Bard, early level. I'm gonna grab my... Here we go. We're gonna grab ourselves our player's handbook from my shelf back there. Just off of base glance, if we're staying true to this story, most likely Johnny is human. Human's a good race in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, especially if we are allowing variant human, which my guess is, in order to make this interesting, probably what we're going to end up taking. Wish I had a good system for this. Like that you could see well what I'm making, but I don't know how to do that. I'll have to put some more thought into this. This is practice. In the future, I plan on doing this more, maybe even when I'm streaming solo and stuff. So if we go with variant human, we will figure out the feat in a little bit. Let's also figure out background off of a base glance, because there is a third party involved in this song. Johnny is probably a folk hero. Like, if the devil shows up in your town, challenges you to a duel, and someone else sees it, that's what the third party is in this song. Is someone being like, "Yo, Johnny just beat the devil in a violin match." So we're probably going to go with folk hero for the background. Let's see. Where's our folk hero? That'll give us proficiency in animal handling and survival, which doesn't really help us out a whole lot, like in furthering the absolutely, Maz. We'll get to the subclass in a bit, little by little. Doesn't exactly help us flesh out who exactly the character is. Like doesn't give him any proficiencies in like music, like an instrument or anything like that. But most likely Johnny, if he's this like somewhat poor kid, like farm kid, knows some form of skill, probably like wood carver's tools or something along those lines. He feels like a whittler to me. And then of course he would know how to drive a wagon and probably have most of the things that are included in his background. So let's go. Next thing I want to check is feat wise, because if we're taking variant human, he gets a feat at level 1. Does anyone have any suggestions? Because I'm sure that there's one out there. I'm just gonna use Player's Handbook for now. If I can't find one in there, I might switch to some other source. Let's see. Linguist? No. Magic Initiate, mobile. Some part of me. That's tough. Lucky is honestly, like, out of the things, that's the easiest one, but like at the same time, I feel as though Johnny focuses on, like, Johnny's just skilled. It isn't a matter of like, oh man, thank goodness I managed to trick the devil. This was planned out, pure skill, start to finish. Absolute master of the fiddle, which is just a violin that you can spear beer on. Let's see. So Lucky's an option. Warcaster, maybe he is like not willing to back down. Could always just go with skilled, which is fine. Gain proficiency in 3 skills or tools of your choice. Warcaster is... I actually do kind of like Warcaster. And I specifically like Warcaster just because of the ability to maintain concentration, right? Like, Johnny's ability to, like, focus on his own playing, even in the face of, like, if you lose, you're going to die. And, like, just his sheer confidence in that. Warcaster is a pretty good option. That is looking like our options. The only other one that I could maybe think of is Resilient. Resilient would be another one that is a pretty strong option. Just gaining proficiency in a specific ability, like in saving throws with that ability, and adding a +1 to that. And now the nice thing about choosing that as our level 1 feat is that since we are going into variant, we actually lose the total number of pluses to abilities that the standard human would get, and we actually end up 1 less than pretty much every other race in the game. What did you guys decide? That's a thing that I can do. Let's make ourselves a poll. /poll. Let's see, we've got Warcaster. We've got, let's see, Resilient, Skilled. Was there a different one? I think that was just about it. Just 2-minute duration. Actually, let's shorten it. You've got 1 minute. Make your choice. I forgot Lucky. That's the one. Screw it. Lucky's not allowed. Make your pick. Oh, so here's the thing, Maz. Bards, so rogues get a lot of points for being like, we're the skilled ones. Bards also gain expertise and abilities. Bards are actually the, like, massive scale, like ability-based people. They just don't get as much credit for it. So, oh, they're getting, expertise. That's the name of it. $50-50 on Warcaster skilled. I am going to just go with Warcaster. That's what I'm doing. That's the one at the top. I'm just gonna start up top. It's good enough. That was also the one suggested in chat, instead of the one that I brought up. I'll go with y'all's decision making here. I'm also going to quick roll stats real quick, and so you get to see how bad I am at doing that. Let's take our... How do I lose pencils this quickly? I know I brought this up before. I'm so bad at it. I know that Skyros voted for Warcaster. I know that Maz voted for Warcaster. That's the ones that matter. The rest of you matter as well. The rest of you matter as well. It's just that Warcaster was the one brought up by the chat instead of skilled, which I was the one that brought up. Let's start off. First roll of the die. By the way, how I do if I'm rolling for stats, I will do 46, drop the lowest, and then once per your set of rolls, you can re-roll an 8 or lower. If you want to, you don't have to. Starting off with a 6, a 5, and a 2. 13. A 5, a 4, and a 4. A 13. Nice. We've got 4, 8, 10. Oh, it only goes downhill from here, Skyros. Okay, a 5 and 2 1s. You were saying? A 5, a 4, and a 3. It's 12. This honestly is pretty far above average for what I normally end up with. 10. I'm gonna re-roll the 7 because, like, why not? I am tempted to put it in, like, wisdom or intelligence or something like that, just because it's like, wisdom is honestly probably the safest choice, and by that I mean, like, not the safest choice, because Johnny did willingly step into a deal with the devil. Like even if he was confident that he could win, I don't know if that counts as wisdom. But I am gonna re-roll it, and this is my one re-roll. Technically better. It's a 10. So that leaves us with 13, 13, 10, 10, 10, 12. Yeah. Not bad. I've had worse. Much worse than that. Exactly. Oh yeah. Look, Johnny has 2 hands. One's for messing with the devil, the other one's for messing with God. Both are for playing the violin. We're gonna go strength, dex, int, Whiz. Oh, I forgot one. Con. Int. Charisma. Obviously, we're going to put our highest number in Charisma, which is one of our 13s. We're also going to put the next one in Dexterity, another 13. Then we've got a 12 to allot, which should probably go towards a mental stat. Well, then again, Johnny played a lot of songs. I'm going to put it in Constitution, because Johnny is a corn-fed, homegrown type of kid. He don't play around. The kid can manage. Kid can hold his own. And then we have 3 10s to allot. Variant Human gains a +1 to 2 different stats, which we are going to put into our Charisma to bring it up to a 14, and our Dexterity to bring that up to a 14. I'll be honest, I don't want to go through the whole spell list for everything, because that's going to take hours of time, and I have other songs to get to. But in terms of leveling up progress, the assumption is that at some point in time, Johnny is going to multi-class into... Yeah, corn is popping up. Into... Warlock is probably the most likely bet, mainly because of that Fiddle of Gold, right? I kind of like to think of it as, like, he did enter into a bargain with the devil. Maybe winning that didn't just get him a golden fiddle. Maybe it also gave him a, like, alright, bud, let's see how far you can go here. Because also, I'm not sure if you knew, there is a sequel song to Devil Went Down to Georgia, which is The Devil Goes Back to Georgia. And it's after Johnny has all grown up. He has, like, a family. The devil shows up, challenges him a second time, and Johnny is not at all prepared for it and has to spend, like, nights upon nights practicing the fiddle to get back into form to play against the devil one more time. Which would be a fantastic campaign idea. It's like, hey Johnny, the devil's back. Late game, devil shows back up. It's been a long time since you've had to 1v1 the devil in a fiddle competition. Let's do it again. So either multi-classing into Warlock is a really good option. Obviously, Pact of the Fiend, or the Fiendish Patron Warlock. And then probably taking... Well, he has that fiddle, so take the Trinket as your... whatchamacallit? Your Pact. You have a Pacted Trinket, which is your fiddle. And then for subclass for Bard. Subclass for Bard. The hardest part is that there isn't really, strangely enough, Bard doesn't have a, like, I just play music subclass that I can think of off the top of my head. They're pretty... Bard. I just want to see. So this is an ongoing problem that I tend to find with the internet. There just aren't enough, like, there's not just like a list of the subclasses. That's like all I want. And it is so hard to find it. I know that it's out there. It's so hard to find it. Okay, here we go. College of Lore, College of Valor, College of Glamour, College of Swords. Oh, well, never mind. Can't see the whole thing. Isn't that a pain? I really need to just, like, make my own lists. pain in the neck. Ugh. Why is it bringing up 4th edition bards? Like, I don't care. And all the lists are like ranking. I don't want rankings. I just want a list of the subclasses. Is that really that hard? Maybe this? Fine, whatever. We'll just go... Oh my goodness. I hate the internet. You've heard it here first. Aaron hates the internet, and I don't feel ashamed of it. So College of Creation, College of Glamour. I kind of am interested in College of Glamour. That's a definite potential. College of Valor, College of Whispers. Handskate, I will take any information that you have. A College of Eloquence isn't bad. Like, obviously you can just theme it that it is, like, through your playing rather than your ability to speak. Like, the abilities fit pretty well. But at the same time, that seems just a little... meh. It is really weird, though, if you come to think of it, that there isn't just a I play music subclass for Bard. Because every Bard plays music, but it's never like, oh yeah, that's actually magic. It's just the medium of which you cast magic, which is a bit of a flavor fail if you think of it. Like, College of Creation. I don't understand that if that really, like, you can make things to... Yeah, like College of Creation, you can make things to assist you in your music and to, like, add to the effect of it. But, like, a lot of the performance is the creation. It's not actually you playing the music. And it, like, dances to the music you play. But that's not because you're playing the music, you just have that type of magic. College of Eloquence is speaking. College of Glamour is just, like, looking hot. College of Lore is knowing information. College of Spirits, I don't entirely understand how that is, I mean, I guess you're able to listen to the dead, but that has nothing to do with music. College of Swords is like, I can perform with weapons. College of Valor is like, yes, I am able to tell valiant stories of war and conquest. No music there. College of Whispers is just like, I tell stories and hear rumors from around bars and stuff like that. It's... none of them have anything to do with music, come to think of it. That's really weird. So honestly, I wouldn't choose any of these. I would homebrew a class. If I had to choose out of them, I would probably choose College of Glamour. Just their ability to, like, make an enthralling performance. A minute casting time. You can basically cast Charm Person as a wide range effect. Mantle of Majesty, using command to automatically make creatures like have to respond to it. That's probably where I would go. So I would multi-class College of Glamour Bard, potentially up until probably level 6. Well, I might go level 14 Bard, level 6 Warlock. Something around those lines. Level 14. So the nice part about multi-classing these two classes together is that their subclass abilities line up at good amounts. So both Bard and Warlock, their subclasses gain their final ability at level 14. They also each gain a subclass ability at level 6. So if you go 14 levels into one class, you can still get your second to last subclass ability in the other one. In this case, the Bard subclass, College of Glamour, gets Unbreakable Majesty at level 14. And I can't remember, I think the Fiendish Patron gets like resistance to a damage type or something at level 6. So that totals up to 20. That would be your full character. I'm not about to go through everything else, like spells and skills. Obviously, we're going to be proficient in music. We're going to be proficient in performance. That's going to be our number one. We're also going to put expertise into that. And probably also into like sleight of hand. That's a pretty standard array of choices. That would be our character. You're going to focus into like charisma and dexterity for your spells and everything else that you're doing. And you just play a violin and cast magic. Ta-da! First song character completed. That one was nice because it made a lot of sense. It was a story song, already had a lot of elements of Dungeons and Dragons in it. Next up is a tough one. Because let me tell you, Lydia, you sent me a real curveball. You sent me a real curveball because Lydia's suggestion, which was the second one that was posted in the chat, was the song Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. Really gotta hurt me like this, huh, Lydia? Well, let's, Oh, hold on. I'm a liar, Lydia. You're gonna have to wait. Get jebaited. Because in reality, what was posted before you was the song Underworld by Vamps. Or The Vamps? I'm not sure. I'm going to do a quick read. I'm gonna do a quick read. Let's see. Do you want something better? Do you want something more? A life that goes on. We can run this town together. Now is the time for battle. Now is the time for war. We all love to hate. Nobody needs a reason. This is so edgy, and I'm down. Do you want to go down, under, below? Come on and let me take you to the underworld. Do you want to see our reality? Come on and let me take you to the underworld. What do you think is real? What do you think is true? There's life underground, a life that's everlasting. You can be something special. You can be something more. Rise up tonight because there's no better reason. Do you want to go down, under, below? Come on and let me take you to the underworld. That's the chorus again. Don't be afraid. I'll show you to the underworld. We can be together in the underworld. You and me. I'll take you to the underworld. Tell me when you're ready to go. Yeah. That's pretty much it. There's another chorus. Song sounds like it goes pretty dang hard. I haven't listened to the Vamps extensively, but I am aware of them. I have heard of their name before. So, I'm thinking, so normally, my first thought that hit me when I read it was the 14th level hurl through hell that Warlock Fiendish Patron goes. But that isn't quite what it seems like to me. That is not exactly the vibe that it's giving off of me. Like it's like asking, it isn't forcing someone into the underworld. It doesn't seem that aggressive. Like, I'm sure the song is very aggressive. Like, it's either pretty pumpin' or it's a ballad. It's hard to tell. Oh, okay. that gives me a little bit of insight as to what exactly I'm listening to. Hurl Through Hell is a fantastic ability. So, bold statement. The rest of the subclass for patron of, like, Fiendish Patron, pretty rough. Not that great. Is it bad? No, I would not say it is bad. Is it great? It could use some work. Hurl Through Hell, though, fantastic cap ability. At level 14, really, really good. This sounds to me more of like either some kind of like necromancer or undead thing. And there's a couple of different ways that you could go to this. The first off, when choosing like race, I would probably go. There's the Reborn lineage that was from Tasha's. If we're gonna really lean into this undead vibe, let me get to the right page. So many pages. Is it after the classes? Can't be after the classes. Oh, that's because it's not in Tasha's. Duh. It's in gosh dang Rictavia's Guide to Shadowfell, which I think is on my shelf somewhere. Witchlight, Dungeon Master's Guide. I have 2 of those. I'm not sure why. Dungeon of the Mad Maid, Mancha Manual, Sword Coast, Volos, Mythic Odyssey of Theros. That means that it must be somewhere. Hold on. Guys, it was in my table. So this kind of song sounds very spooky lyric-wise. Which means we're probably going to want to go for one of the like haunted lineages. Either Dhampir. I'm not really feeling Dhampir. This doesn't sound like a vampire to me. The 2 things that would be closest to me are either Hexblood or Reborn. Hexblood feels a little too fey for me. Reborn feels a lot more interesting. For those of you who haven't heard of this lineage before, it's really awesome. And you can also replace your previous creature type with this lineage. So I would probably go... Honestly, the base race that we choose doesn't really matter in this situation, because this sounds to me just like someone who has experienced these things, some type of warrior, maybe some form of evil alignment. Like if I had to put it on the like scale, on the grid, like the now is the time for battle, now is the time for war, we all love to hate, nobody needs a reason. That's an evil lyric. Like if that's their opinion, that's just firmly aligned on the evil side of things. But then they're offering to like show someone the afterlife. It's a fight song. Now the question is, are they like offering, or is this a threat? Is this a like if they're talking about battle and war, are they like, I will show you the underworld by sending you there personally? I think we still go with the Reborn. Can choose pretty much any base race for it. The Reborn gives us deathless nature, so have advantage on saving throws against disease and being poisoned, and resistance to poison damage. Advantage on death saving throws. You don't need to eat, drink, or breathe, and you don't need to sleep, and magic can't put you to sleep. You basically have the 4-hour trance kind of thing. You also gain knowledge from past life. When you make an ability check that uses a skill, I can roll a d6 immediately after seeing the number and add that to it. And you can do that a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. It's really, really good lineage. Look into it. It's awesome. So we're going to take Reborn as our race. Class-wise, we might have to do something a little interesting because this seems like a strange mixture of necromancer, because there's the like rise up tonight because there's no better reason. That could be a like rise up against the like so on and so forth. But I kind of love the idea that they're actually saying like rise up, like to the dead, like return to war, return to battle, that kind of feel. And them like knowing that there is life underground and a life that's everlasting. That sounds like a necromancer to me. Just off of a base guess, I'm going to say that, and this is a really weird combination of subclasses, and it kind of hurts because of that. I like the idea of this character being a necromancer wizard, subclassed with either probably Oathbreaker Paladin, which is, it's a weird combo, because the clash here is obviously you have two different spellcasting modifiers that you're going for. You've got your wizard with your intelligence, and then your paladin with your charisma, and then they both kind of look at like different aspects. Like the paladin should also probably be good at some kind of fighting ability, either strength or dexterity, something along those lines. Now, I'm going to roll for stats before I make too many decisions. We're going to go through this again. Starting off strong with a 9, 10. 10. Average at best. 11, so 15. Hey. Getting up there in the numbers. Ooh, another 15. Have you ever written a 5 and then thought that it was a 3? Because I just did. Oh, dang, we got a 17. Yo, this character's stacked. This is the best I've ever rolled. Hey, don't get greedy. All right. I'm not looking for an 18. 17, I'm happy. 12. No negatives. Come on, no negatives. 14. We did it. This character's great. I wish that I could roll stats like this consistently. That's like a DJ stat roll. If you add in 118 in there, that's a DJ move. So we're gonna go strength, dex, con, int, whiz, charisma. So here's the thing. Hey, Poolpuri. Welcome to the Aaron is making characters based off of songs that the chat recommends. Here's the thing. Because we are a necromancer wizard, we really need to question how much do we actually care about intelligence? Because necromancer is one of those weird subclasses. Like, obviously, you're going to want some of it. Like, that's just going to be a thing that you want. School of Necromancy. Copy necromancy spells is halved. When you kill one or more creatures with a first level spell or higher, regain hit points equal to twice the spell's level or 3 times its level if it's a necromancy spell. Don't gain this for killing constructs or undead. It's really awesome. That means that we probably do want to be able to do a lot more spell stuff. But 6th level, we gain Animate Dead. When you cast Animate Dead, you can target an additional corpse or pile of bones. Whenever you create an undead using a necromancy spell, it has additional benefits, like its hit point is up, and its proficiency bonus is added to the damage rolls. Oh, let me tell you, I'm adding it to the list. Like song requests, they're there. Maz, I could do it. But that's gonna be a late one. That's gonna be a last one. We'll have to see. Let's see. Ooh, this is good for us, potentially. So the last subclass ability is once again at level 14. That's a really good subclass time for characters to really get the most out of things, because that means you can multi-class a lot easier into a lot of different classes. If it fails, it becomes friendly to you. So you can steal other people's undead. And that actually fits the theme of the song very well. The, like, I can show you, like, the underworld, blah, 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 blah. Do you want to see reality? Like, taking undead from other casters and stuff. I love that. So we're for sure going 14 levels into Wizard, which means that our focus is probably going to be in Intelligence. Our stats are really good. So we're going to, like, we can pretty easily multi-class do something that isn't our base thing. Intelligence, we're going to put the 17 in there. We've got 2 15s. Let's put one of them into Charisma. Let's put one of them into Strength. No? Do we care about Strength? Let's put it into Constitution. Because as a wizard, we want to be a bit healthier than other classes, because we lack the damage die, the health pool die. I don't remember the name of it. The one they use on short rests. We're going to put our 14. Let's put our 14 into Strength, because we might need it as a paladin. That leaves us with a 12 and a 10. Let's put our 10 in Dexterity. We're a little dead, so it makes sense that our hands and legs and stuff don't work that well. And then we're going to put our 12 in Wisdom. We also gain... so this has actually been an overall update to the game. Instead of having your standard, like, this race gets +2 to this and +1 to that, it has now been turned into a blanket. You can add a +2 to an ability score of your choice, and a +1, or you can apply a +1 across 3 different stats. Which I think it's a super fine change. I think that it is completely acceptable. If you don't want to follow that rule and you want to stick with the certain races gain specific spell or specific ability allocation, I think that is also fine. If that's a much more traditional way of doing it, either one is good. But since Reborn doesn't have that stat allocation that's programmed in, we're going to... Let's see. I think we're going to choose... Strangely enough, we're going to put the +1 across 3 different stats. That brings our con up to a 16, our intelligence up to an 18, and our charisma up to a 16. That means that we can kind of do whatever we want with the other ones. So, let me find my Dungeon Master's Guide. Because for those of you who didn't know, they decided we're going to put the Oathbreaker Paladin in the Dungeon Master's Guide. Because why wouldn't we? We just like to do that. We like to make people's lives difficult by putting things in weird locations. Oathbreaker. Wow, I'm honestly surprised that I found that page that quickly. Oathbreaker Paladin. Also, first ability, their Channel Divinity. Control undead. You can target an undead that they can see within 30 feet of them. Make a wisdom saving throw. They must obey the paladin's commands for the next 24 hours. That just means that we get to do our 14th level ability targeted a little early, which is awesome. You can also frighten people in a 30-foot radius of you, optionally. Aura of Hate. Sadly, if we go 16 levels into Wizard, we don't gain access to Aura of Hate. Now this is an interesting choice. This is a choice that we have to make right now. We could. So this is the problem with multi-classing specific classes. Paladin is one of the worst classes to subclass anything more than like 3 levels into, because since their final subclass ability is level 20 compared to a lot of classes having level 14, that means that their abilities don't match up as well. Aura of Hate we get at 7th level instead of 6th level. But for the build that we're going, if we're building for strength, it may actually be smarter to have like take 13 levels into Wizard or something like that, and then get to 7th level in Paladin. Because the Aura of Hate, any fiends or undead within 10 feet of the Paladin gain a bonus to melee weapon damage equal to the Paladin's charisma modifier. If we are going to be walking around with a massive army of undead surrounding us using the necromancer, like raise like dead or whatever, create undead, that's really good. Like, that's super strong to be able to do that. Is just everyone blanket gets a plus. Like, you could have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You could have 8 undead surrounding you in a circle. And then all of them are also getting an additional, assuming you don't increase your charisma any, +3 to all damage that they deal across 8 people. That means that you're dealing extra 24 damage minimum if every single one hits. That might be worth it. Since we also don't need any spell other than create undead, that's a definite question as for are we going to do that. You pretty much just want create undead and then damaging necromancy spells like inflict wounds. I don't think we can get Finger of Death. I think that might be a little high level. Same thing with Disintegrate. I think it's a little high level for what we're doing. But there's a chance. There's a chance. But yeah, and that's pretty much the build. Make a whole bunch of undead, and then increase the number of undead. Show them that everlasting life that the song talks about. And then go to war. You're a paladin. Like, this is super dark paladin vibes, like, I will conquer the planet. Everyone will join me in on death. I have seen what lies beyond the grave. It is beautiful and wonderful, and you can join me there. This is less of a character backstory as a BBG backstory, and I'm into it. Like, I'm down. This seems like a super fun character to play too. Like, pretty good at both long range casting and up close, but their main strength is just in numbers. Like, the undead are around them. You're going to take, I think it's Dance Macabre is a spell or something like that. That like just insta reses to like 4 undead around you. You're just gonna be dancing through the battlefield with your undead warriors, and that's what you're gonna do. Someone gets up close, you're a paladin. Start murdering them. Some other necromancer comes up to you and they're like, I will beat you numbers on numbers. You go, no, I dominate your undead. They're mine now. I'm going to start beating you to death with them. I love it. And that is Underworld by Vamps. Now we get to Lydia's request. Oh, Lydia. Oh, Lydia. You just, like, you gotta throw me things like this. Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. We're no strangers to love, you know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. I'm never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. We known each other for so long. Sorry, I can't stop. Oh, this song. This song. So, I'll be honest. So this song, I do actually like Redemption Paladin for, and here's why. So we're going to use various different expansions to the rules here. We're going to delve into Theros. One of my personal favorite expansions. I think it is an underrated book. I love it. I think that you should get it if you don't. Everything about the book is awesome. I can't find a single fault in it, and even if I could, I don't want to. It also has, in my opinion, the best alternate art of any of the alternate arts. Look at this. Look how sick that is. That's so cool. It's awesome. Honestly, I would recommend getting this over the Player's Handbook. Just because it looks that good. It's so good. Like all the other ones, they're great. This is primo. In Theros, there is a concept given, which is supernatural gifts. Supernatural gifts are awesome. They are reasons that your characters are heroes. Like if you think of Greek mythology, think of Hercules or Achilles that are just born and they have supernatural strength or invulnerability, like some crazy thing that has been given to them that sets them apart from other people. The one that we are specifically going to be looking at for this character is a little one called Lifelong Companion. You have a boon aura, so allies within 5 feet of you have advantage on saving throws against being frightened or charmed, provided you aren't incapacitated. And when a creature you can see within 5 feet of you is hit by an attack, you can use your action to cause the attack to hit you instead. Basically just giving you Redemption Paladin abilities a little earlier on. Now here's the thing. I like Lifelong Companion because it fits the theme really well. But taking Paladin actually kind of means that you didn't take one in the beginning. So we might have to do a little bit of finagling. First of all, this isn't a Redemption Paladin for the purpose of I will bring you back from the brink of evil, like fear not, like war and stuff. This is I wish that there was like an Oath of Love Paladin. I'm sure that someone has homebrewed it. I don't care. I wish that there was one in canon. But also, this is a love song. This is a, like, I want to tell you how I'm feeling, blah, blah, blah. I might end up resorting back to Bard for this. That's tempting. Let me think through the classes again. Let's see. This also could be a cleric. Yes, Maz. So, the supernatural gifts can also be used. There's an alternate rule that they can also be used for as feats. A lot of them are a bit more extensive, so that one's a pretty basic, like, here are the 2 things that you get. And that's what sets them a little bit apart from a feat, is normally there's at least 2 benefits of the supernatural gifts. But they are meant to be first level. You gain these things. It basically just gives you another aspect of your character that you can use. Some of them give you resistance to radiant and necrotic damage, and then allow you to gain to force disadvantage on attacks against you for the next minute. Some of them provide a separate piety system. Piety systems are another thing that are brought into being with Theros, where following a god and devoting yourself to them can give you benefits along the way in a level system. So like if you have 50 piety points, you are a paragon of your church, and you get a whole bunch of benefits. So there's a couple of differences. This is one of the basic ones. I love supernatural feats. The concept of just giving characters more abilities at level 1 that make them feel cool is really awesome. Now the thing is, love is universal. There isn't a class that can't do something with love. The thing is, we never see the focus of this like targeted love, the like never who are you never going to give up. Fighter is an excellent option. This very like, perhaps it is a kind of an Odysseus kind of feeling, where it's like his entire goal after finishing this war is to return to his wife, but things keep getting in his way. Love the story of Odysseus. So fighter is an option. That very like, I will protect you, and by my side you shall not fall. Ranger is another option. It could literally be that you are tracking down this person who has been taken from you, perhaps. And so like using your ranger, like never gonna give you up, is never going to stop running after you. There's a lot of options. I like the basic kind of like champion of the people feel to it. And I'm a fan of fighters. Fighters also are, in my opinion, one of the best support classes in the game. Like, it's funny because they're fighters, they're meant to fight. But in reality, their strength really lies with, like, manipulating combat. Like, providing status effects or just doing things that assist other people, like Cavalier, their ability to lock down opponents. The one that has a whole bunch of combat maneuvers that I can't remember the name of. Those do really good effects. And that actually might be the class that we go for, because I think it's neat. What are we looking for here? That's the book that I'm wanting. I think we go with Fighter. Maybe multi-class into Oath of Redemption Paladin, just to give you a couple more. Battlemaster, thank you, Skyros. One of my favorite subclasses for fighters. Battlemaster is a pretty dang good option. And then just take a lot of things that affect the battlefield. At some point in time, you could even change the lyrics of the song. Maybe singing this to an enemy. I'm never gonna let you go. Like, you can't escape from me. I'm never gonna say goodbye. Like, maybe sometimes that love turns into a little bit anger, a little bit of pursuit. Hard to know. So race-wise for this character, obviously there aren't a whole lot of descriptors to the person themselves. Exactly. That could be another thing. Ooh, if we want to go the like shield brother / sister thing, you could even go barbarian. Like, maybe they are like tribes mate, and they have been like separated, and it's a lot more of a tribal song where it's like like my shield brother, I will find you, I will bring you back, I'm never going to let you, like if we die together kind of feel. Like the back-to-back fighting the enemy. There's a lot of options for this because there aren't a lot of descriptors. And that's some of the nice things about these songs that don't have a ton of descriptors about the character you're trying to make. You can kind of do anything. So it certainly isn't easy. You said shield brother / sister, and now I'm just really leaning towards barbarian. I just love it. Like that, like incredibly strong, like running into battle for the person that they are like destined to die with on the battlefield. Really awesome. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Oh, bars. Absolute bars. Never gonna give you up. Oh man, I like barbarian. I'm gonna go with barbarian. No one can stop me. That's what I've chosen. Well, that's 100%. As for race, once again, I have very few descriptors. So this is honestly just kind of up to your choice. If you want to build power, like half orc or like dwarf. If we're going for like shield brother, that kind of vibe, Goliath is another really good option. They kind of have that kind of vibe in it. For subclass, because honestly, now that I think about it, if we're going for the shield brother, Redemption Paladin really isn't that good. Just because they're more like destined to like fight on the battlefield, that kind of thing is a lot less, I'm here to like be there for you. And also, since you already get that from your supernatural gift, not as important to be able to do with Redemption Paladin. Now the real problem is subclass wise for the barbarian, because this honestly might be a straight barbarian like character. You may not multi-class in this one. I've accidentally hit cap locks and I'm disgusted. Ew. Oh. So I may be shifted by my own personal bias. But the two that are sticking out to me the most right now are Path of the Zealot and Path of the Ancestral Guardian, maybe? No, maybe... Probably that. Yeah, probably Zealot or Ancestral Guardian. Ancestral Guardian does a lot of that, like, defense, like, mega tank kind of feel to it, which is really good for what we are trying to go for with this, like, I'm never going to abandon you. Like, we either live or die side by side. Path of the Zealot, I just like, because could you imagine if it's like, I refuse to... Grant, good luck on your work. Oh, Spirit Totem is so good. Like, it's a really, really good subclass. But I kind of like the Path of Zealot. Could you imagine like your character dying and then refusing death because they know that their shield brother still lives? Like, they will never, like, that I will never abandon you. It's like, even through death, I will not leave you alone kind of feel. Those are the two kind of, because the only reason that I'm not going straight for Path of the Ancestral Guardian is that it feels like, you know, three's a crowd. Three's a crowd, right? Like, if you have a whole bunch of these spirits flying around you, like, that isn't that personal. It's not a two people against the world. It's two people plus a whole bunch of spirits. I'm also incredibly partial to Zealot Barbarian, and I will not refute that. I think it's an awesome subclass. Its damage bonuses are really good, and it's just like, hey, I don't die. That's the entire goal. Yeah. Yeah. Never gonna give you up. That's what I'm going for. I think we go straight full level 20. Zealot Barbarian. I'm down. I kind of like, it's between like half orc and Goliath, I think. And I wish that the Goliath was better. Like, it's a fine race. But it could be better. But I just like the image of it. I like the image of this, like, Goliath Zealot Barbarian, like, mowing down enemies and, like, back to back with another Goliath. Just like, hey, we hold this bridge, and when we die together. I'm in. Half Goliath orc, I'm down. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna go for. Also, just for the fun of it, let's roll this character some stats, shall we? Absolutely. Come to think of it, a Zealot Barbarian is quite literally a guardian from Destiny. Like, it's not even a joke. That's just what it is. We're going to start off really strong for this character. We're going to start off with a 17. Lydia, do you want to join in? What you doing? Ooh. Lydia will join us in around 50. When was that sent, Lydia? Was that 15 minutes ago that you sent that message? Lydia will probably be joining us today. We're going to start off with a 17. Strong first roll. A 15. I'm loving seeing the 6 on these die. Okay, that's not as good. That's a 9. But that's okay. Every barbarian needs a dump stat. Can't have a barbarian with all good stats. It wouldn't be fair. That's a 16. Eight. Nice. That we can re-roll that one as long as you don't blow it again. 11. Okay, let's re-roll that 8. There we go. 16 again. That leaves us with a pretty good character. I do love the, like, one man versus an army kind of feel. Like, if this character was going up against the, like, the undead wizard kind of feel. Because the other thing is, oh, hey Edwin, we are making characters based off of songs that the chat recommends to us. We're currently working on a character based on the song Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. We have ended up with a barbarian, Path of the Zealot Barbarian, with pretty dang good stats. Just before this, we made a Skyros. You're right on it. It's like, and the thing is, so I think that the barbarian has a chance just because there has to be another person. Like, since they are this, like, never gonna give you up, we're never gonna let you down. So it's these two people. One of them could be like a cleric, like a war cleric or something. Could be a barbarian. If it's a war cleric, this team is never dying. You just slap the barbarian in front, the wizard, the cleric on the side, just like casting spells whenever the barbarian goes down, just bring it back up, no cost. I'm in. Like, I'm super down. Int, Wiz, Charisma. Obviously, we're going to want to put one of our 17s in Strength. We're going to want to put one of our 16s in Con. Then we're probably going to want to put another 16 in Wisdom, because he can feel, right? He needs to be able to feel that desire to. So here's the thing, Poolpuri, if you want a ska song, you're gonna have to recommend it. Just doing chat requests. I've got 3 others right now. These take a while, so I don't know how many we'll get to. Let me message back, Lydia. Okay, let's see. So 17, 16, 16. That leaves us with a 15, a 9, and 11. Look, I'm just going to be honest. I know it's a stereotype. We're going to make intelligence the dump stat. We're going to put the 9 in there because stereotypes and tropes and things like that aren't always good. But I will tell you, if you play a character with those tropes, it's going to be fun. There's a reason that they're common. It's because they're a blast. Everyone enjoys it. Let's see, that's our 9. We have 15 and 11 still. I think we probably put our 11 in Dex and our 15 in Charisma. We're big, scary Goliath. Charisma fits. 5 minutes on Lydia. Right? It's between charisma and intelligence. That was the dump stat there. Like, we couldn't do wisdom because there's a lot of wisdom things in the barbarian. But I'm gonna dump intelligence. He's just look, you don't need to be smart. All you need to know is who your friend is, and then you just help them. That's what it is you protect them and you kill the enemy. Edwin, you are right on the money. I have also done this. I tend to gravitate towards characters, but you can make entire like storylines based off of songs, locations based off of songs, magical items based off of songs, a really interesting song to listen to. I absolutely love it. Doesn't work well for a character, does work well for a location or a phenomenon. Oh shoot. Since suddenly I'm now forgetting the name of the song. Let me find it real quick. Stained Glass by Danny Schmidt. Really cool song. Danny Schmidt has done a lot of songs that I like. Kind of a more like country folk song artist. Really, really good music. So yeah, that's our character. Barbarian Goliath, Path of the Zealot Barbarian, beefy stats, and just mow down the enemies and never die. All to protect your brother or sister in arms. Because you refuse to leave them alone. If they die, you die, vice versa. I love it. So take that, Lydia. Managed to make a character out of Never Gonna Give You Up, and I bet you didn't expect it to be that rad. This is a super cool character. Could you imagine showing up at a game and you have this character and they're like, how did you even come up with the idea for this? And you're like, oh, the song Never Gonna Give You Up. They're like, excuse me? Next on the docket. Now, the real struggle here is that I didn't write down the band name for this. Schaefer James and Kate Douglas. Oh, this is interesting. I'm gonna have to go the long way around for this. Oh my goodness. This song doesn't even have... How recent is this song? So the song that was recommended is... This is by Schaefer James? They were the same one... They were on Hope and Hand Grenade? What is happening here? This is crazy. So just so everyone is understanding what exactly is going on here, Handskate has recommended a song, the song Fate Goes by Schaefer James and Kate Douglas. It is too recent for me to find lyrics on the song. It was in 2021, and that's crazy because there's other ones. I'm gonna have to listen to the song. Before we do that, I'm gonna go onto the break screen real quick, because I am going to invite Lydia to a Zoom call, so that way I can get her in this jam. Yeah. While this is happening, I'm gonna listen to the song. For those of you in the Discord, I would play it, but I don't know how. Let's see. Invite Lydia. There we go. Sup, Lydia? They can hear you. They can't see you though. Classic Lydia. Oh, now they can hear you. I'm a liar. I didn't have desktop audio unmuted.
Hello.
Let us move to here. Are we allowed to? Am I allowed to switch to so they can see you now?
Yeah, they can see me now.
Hello. This is Lydia. She plays Dungeons and Dragons with us.
I do that sometimes.
And does a whole bunch of other cool stuff. Ugh. Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh, there we go. Okay, I'm good. I'm set now.
Okay.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Lydia. How have you been today?
I've been good. I've been busy.
Doing actual commissions instead of making memes in the Discord?
Memes about not doing commissions? Yeah. I got good progress made though. And I got emails sent. God, I hate emails.
Just for a little bit of news, you're gonna be playing in a one-shot pretty soon here, aren't you?
Yeah, this weekend. I'm gonna be over on Quincy's Tavern. I'm gonna play Dusty, a gnome Circle of Stars druid.
Was that the druid that you posted art of in the Discord?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't make it to your stream again, and so I was like, this is either A, she just made a character for fun, or B, this relates to something that she's doing. Yeah, that's super awesome to hear.
I'm really excited. It's gonna be really, really, really fun. They got the promo video up. I shared it in the Discord already.
So yeah, so this is a hint. If you aren't in our Discord already, what are you doing with your lives?
Get on it.
God, ugh, people.
sillies.
So now that you're here, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to do?
I don't know. I mean, we had the pretty big session, but I don't want to break up your grind. You had a system going.
Dog, I am down to do whatever. The reason that I was doing that, the entire reason for the song character thing,
Hmm.
is it's one of the things I would like to refine it in the future because I really enjoy it, and I think it's a fun way to like interact with the people who are like watching and stuff like that. Um, Also, I found the song Handskate. I have it on. It's on Spotify. I just can't find the lyrics for it, so I have to like listen to the song. Um, but I would like to refine it in a way where I could do it a lot more systematically, and then like when I start solo streaming and stuff like that, that may be a thing that I do more often.
Yeah, no, that's a cool idea.
But now that you're here, options have opened up. People want to hear from the only female on the paper dungeon.
That
They
is
want to
me.
know. Um, they want to hear all sorts of things about it. So if you want to talk about the last episode Monday, which a bunch of cool stuff happened, I obviously have not done that yet. So we are absolutely permitted to do that. I know that you had a super big, fun roleplay thing at the start.
I did.
That was super good. I think I may have said that might be my favorite you and Grotz interaction.
Really?
It's between that and one other one. Remind me. I want to make sure I'm not confusing them.
Okay.
Because you had multiple good interactions with the Grotz over the past like 2 to 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about it. What exactly happened in this? Just so you know, for those of you who aren't aware of the context here, we play a Dungeons & Dragons game on Mondays at 7 p.m. CST. Lydia's character Renaya is in a very close relationship with the Demon Prince of Pleasure Grotz.
Yeah.
So talk about what exactly happened in this conversation. Remind me of all the things that I've forgotten.
So, in not this last episode we just did, but the episode before, Grotz had confessed his love to Renaya, to which she responded by casting Zone of Truth on him.
And everyone cried.
And everyone cried.
And
then he was able to say, I love you in the Zone of Truth, and she said, I love you back, and blah, 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 kind of deal. And then this... It was cute and sweet and blah. And then in this last episode we just had, Renaya went back to Grotz and gave kind of a bit of an explanation as to why she did the Zone of Truth and like her backstory with it. So basically, Renaya's backstory, she was born and raised into a demon cult family, and her family is like the leaders of the cult, and
on the playground is where she spent most of her days.
Yeah. And one of the things that ended up happening was she ended up getting in this arranged marriage with this guy she knew, and she liked him, and they like loved each other kind of deal, but again, cult, so things aren't normal or great at all. And she ended up kind of straying away from the family's views on things, and so in response, her husband needed to kill her, and so she was stabbed literally and figuratively in the back by her husband. She was able to escape, blah, 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 blah. She has a dagger that he stabbed her with, and that is her weapon of choice now, kind of deal. Yada, yada, yada. Basically, this episode, she showed Grotz.
I would like to point out, Lydia, I have had an average of 9 to 10 viewers for the entire time. You show up on stream, we immediately increase by 5 viewers. We're now 15, we're killing it.
Well, So she goes to Gratz and she ends up showing him the scars that she has on her back from the dagger. The dagger is a magical dagger associated with demon cults thing, blah, 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 blah. So the scars on her back never really faded, like, at all.
Yeah.
So, she showed him those. She told him she does trust him completely. She's just...
She doesn't trust
traumatized.
herself. She's got problems that she has to deal with. Do you think there's counselors in the Abyss?
Probably not.
If they are, they're really bad ones.
Yeah, they're not great.
Yeah, I really liked this conversation. I thought it was very well done. One of my favorite things, and people have talked to me about this. Grant and I are terrible people. So, like, you're out there flirting with Grant, and Grant and I are just riffing in the background. Like, oh my goodness. Oh, and like...
Well, and like, there's one point where, like, I had to look away from you two. Like, I couldn't look at you guys, because there was one point, Grant literally gets up and leaves, and I was like...
No, Grant left because of me.
I know he left because of you.
Because the moment that, like, you showed, you were like, hey, Gratz, like look
oh yeah,
at my
because what
scars.
she does is she's like she puts his hands under her shirt.
The way that DJ monologues, like, him getting rid of the scars out of context. Like, if you don't know what's happening,
I know.
It was so wrong.
I mean, there was I could hear it with certain sentences. Overall, I don't think it was.
Oh no, not at all.
Bad as you guys made it out to be.
We made it way worse.
You made it 100 times worse. Absolutely.
I would love to go through. I would love to rewatch that.
Oh well, yeah, because that was the other part. Is so she shows him the scars, and then he's like, "I can get rid of them," kind of deal. It's not gonna be pretty, but we can get rid of these scars. And so they went ahead and did that. It was excruciatingly painful for both of them. But yeah, fun times. Hold on, I'm trying to get my focus back. There we go.
Oh man, it was so good. Like, not only that, it was like a legitimately good, like, it was really good roleplay. It was described really well, and honestly, the fact that it was like almost an innuendo made it so perfectly grotzed. Like if it wasn't like, this almost sounds like sex, then it wouldn't fit. It wouldn't be as good.
It was definitely a very intimate experience.
100%. And that is what made it, like, one of my favorites, is that it was very true to form. It was wonderful role playing, very, very well done. Gratz was played very well. Renaya was played exquisitely. Grant and I were able to riff without ruining everything. Because I like to think that there's probably one or two viewers that really aren't about the, like...
No, and that was one of the things that I was...
And that's what we're here for.
I was actually talking about it with my grandma today, where I was like, there's certain points where I actually appreciate you guys just being idiots. Like, while I'm doing it, because first of all, there's like, I'm still getting very used to going all in with the role play kind of thing. And so there are certain moments where I'll start to feel a bit uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
And then having that kind of break to, like, laugh it out and then get back into character is helpful. And then it's also, it's very much the, like, there's people who, like, that serious romantic role play might not be for them kind of deal, so they can just watch you two. And it's very similar to, like, me and Grant when Drew's doing his numbers in combat kind of deal. It's the same energy.
I love it. I think it's so good. And sometimes I do feel bad because I never want to, like, sometimes if I feel like I might go a little too far or something, and then it'll take away from the moment. The goal is never to take away from someone's moment. And so I'm glad that you feel that way, because I would feel really bad if you're like, I can't believe you ruined my roleplay with Gratz.
Well, and I went back to go back and look at all like the comments happening because I can't pay attention to the comments during it. To go back and look at all the comments that had happened, and it was like you had one comment that you sent that was like hyping me up on the convo kind of deal, and that was my favorite. I felt so good when I saw that. I was like, I made everyone proud.
I remember I sent in the Discord, yo, not gonna lie, like that Lydia Grotz interaction was like a banger or something like that. That sounds like a sentence that I would say.
It was like right off the gate kind of deal.
Like right out the gate, it was really, really good. Like there was no downtime. It was just, let's enter into roleplay and then be incredible.
And I was really, really nervous about it because first of all, like this is one of the things I've talked a lot about with my like mom and my grandma and my sister, and it's like I don't have a lot of like highlight roleplay moments. Like I have good conversations and good things like that, but it always leans really heavily on the other person.
Yeah.
And like because that's I think what I'm good at is I'm good at finding ways to kind of give you guys
spotlight.
Yeah. But I really wanted this to be a Renaya moment. And I was really nervous because I'm like, first of all, it's episode 69, so it's already a meme.
Oh man,
that's like
so much
we're already a meme. And
I had forgotten about that.
And then we're starting, and then we're gonna start with me doing it, which means we're gonna go right from the meme intro for episode 69 to like this huge transition into like serious roleplay thing. And then I was like really nervous, too, because it was just like I think I've gotten a lot more comfortable with it, but there's still that kind of like it's not, the big conversations aren't really my jam. Like I'm not known for that kind of deal. So
well, I think that you do a very good job.
Well, thank you. I was really, really happy with it. I messaged DJ at the beginning before we started stream.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey DJ, I'm putting a lot of trust in you. Don't like let me down. You won't. You're gonna do great, but don't let me down, please. And because I think there's been several moments where it's like it's not that DJ's let me down at all, but it's like there's several moments that I thought would be
a specific way.
Would be bigger. And then just like I never actually communicated that, and I kind of like left it up for DJ to make it this big moment, but he had no idea that's what I wanted kind of deal, and that whole deal. And it was always fine. It was never a problem, but I very much wanted this to be a moment, and so I'm glad he forced me to tell him.
Also, I would like to draw attention to the fact that our mod Maz is currently eating a scone that they found in their pocket. I would just really like to point this out and cause judgment to descend.
Nice.
Because that means that they don't know how long that scone has been. How long was your walk, Maz?
Maz.
This morning.
Maz, no.
Maz. Now, okay. All due respect, I'm down. I have definitely eaten pocket food before. I just like judgment.
Oh gosh. Pockets definitely has a scone in his pocket.
Pockets has multiple scones. Pockets got a full bakery.
Pockets, yeah.
Oh geez. So after your conversation with Gratz, who did other stuff then?
So after the conversation with Gratz, we pretty much left.
And then we figured out war stuff for a bit.
And then we figured out some war stuff.
Oh, Drew
and
had
then
to give
we
a
had
speech.
the funeral. We had the
Had a funeral.
Then I went and talked with Cather.
That was great, by the way. Loved that.
I loved that too. I really liked. I was talking with Drew about it. I think you were there. Yeah, you were there. I didn't highlight all of this, but Drew had mentioned that he was really happy that that conversation happened because it got to highlight. I remember this. Yeah, it got to highlight like
that
Cather's not okay.
Yeah.
And then I really liked it because while like I got to highlight that for Cather also got to highlight the hope that is Renaya. Like all that hope that Renaya has. And kind of that's her role in the party right now.
Oh, yeah.
She's very much that.
my favorite in that conversation was him being like, even if we have to lie about being the hope, and you're like, but aren't we the hope? And he's like, yes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, man. That was so good. Just the like, yeah, we actually suck. And you're like, we suck?
He's
like,
suck?
no. So that conversation was incredible. And then, so my other favorite part of that conversation was you offering to give the speech for him. I thought that was super good. Because that forces Drew into making a decision. And the best part about it is that regardless of the decision that Drew makes, Renaya is okay with it. Because like sometimes like there's bad questions to ask where you like expect an answer and then you're disappointed because the other person doesn't know what answer is the correct one to give. And those aren't good. But this one was just like, if you can't go through this, I can do the speech. I can do that. And then him being like, no, this is something that I have to do, and I've got to figure this out. I thought that was very, very well done.
Well, and my mom looks at me and she's like, were you actually like ready to do the speech? And I was like, I didn't want to, but I was ready.
I'm excited for when Renaya has to give a speech. Because everyone else has given speeches.
Yeah. Renaya will give a speech to Pockets.
No. It's got to be a whole army.
An army of Pockets.
I'm okay with that. I don't care. I don't care to what army. I don't care if it's 10,000 little gremlins. I just want Renaya to give a big speech. I don't know if it's a war speech or a hope speech or a death speech. I don't know. I don't care. I want a speech. Speech.
Someday. It'll happen someday.
Speaking of speeches, I got to give one. That was fun.
You did. It was a banger.
I have been preparing to give that speech since I learned we would go to war. Actually, maybe a little bit before that.
Maz, leave me alone. Maz will never let it go that Renaya killed Cather.
Well, would you?
No. He has every right to. It just makes me sad.
It's like, wow, I can't believe you keep bringing up the fact that I killed my good friend. Ugh.
Cather told me to do it.
Like, get over it.
It's fine. He's alive now. But yeah, your speech was phenomenal. It was so good.
Way. I was just glad that the mic didn't peak.
I'm glad too.
Because
I'm glad we got it all.
If you notice, I'm like saying things and I start like here, and then as we go, I just start slowly moving farther away. And then eventually the last like yell, I point my head upwards to make sure that it's not pointed directly at the mic. Oh man.
Yeah, so we did that, and then did we do anything else?
Well,
we got there.
So I also I'm gonna still talk about me. I'm so glad that DJ let me explain what the orcs did.
I am too.
Because
I am too.
I'm like, please don't mess this up, DJ. Please don't mess this up. And he's like, hey, Aaron, do you want to explain? I was like, yes. Thank God. But yeah, so I'm so glad that DJ let me elaborate on that. But then we fly around and we head into the sewers.
We head into the sewers.
We nail some
sneak
checks.
around.
Also, shout out to you for taking all of the checks. I am so glad. I am so thankful. This is props to you, props to DJ for letting it happen. Basically, DJ just was like, so you have an option. You could either A, have 2 people roll, or B, have 1 person roll with advantage. Every single time it was like, hey Lydia, do you wanna roll that die?
Well, and it was just perfect though, because a lot of them were the ones I was really good at, and I don't get to use a whole lot. It was
the wisdom ones, the one that none of us are good at. So like, and you did an excellent job with like rolling good on your die. That's important.
Yeah. I had a few concerns in there, but those ones you guys covered.
Yeah, and then so I think there was like a couple of survival checks to get us through. I'm so glad that he didn't do like an extended, like left, right, right, and then like, because that's so difficult to do.
Yeah.
Theater of the mind. I had it. I was drawing out the pathways. I had those planned out.
We were ready.
I was like, I'm willing to go through the grind for this. I'm not going to be happy about it though. But thankfully he was just like, hey, survival check, and I was like, yes.
Thank you
so much. And Edward got to help with that as well. Yeah, and then we head up. We succeed on some stealth checks. Managed to disarm some catapults.
Whoop.
Trebuchets, technically. And then make our way up to the Sunrise Suite. And go to the jail, and then do a riddle that was not... It was a cipher that...
For some reason, I forgot that we did that.
So...
That was a time.
So the type of cipher that was used here is something called a Caesar cipher. A Caesar cipher is you have one row of the alphabet, or one circle of the alphabet is the easiest way to do it. All 26 letters of the English alphabet. And then an inner circle of the English alphabet that rotates. And the entire point of the code is that you move the inner alphabet a certain number of distance from A. So you may line up A with X. And you have the text that is given to you, and then each of those letters will correlate a certain number of distance away from A. So if you move 1 away, that makes A into B, C, and then B into C, and then C into D, and then D into E, and stuff like that. And the best part was that we figured it out, but DJ had moved the cipher -6, and we were moving it +6. So both Lydia and I are sitting there.
We're like, no, it's this. Like, it's this.
It's T. And he's like, it's not T. We're like, sure looks like T though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's T.
Because the whole thing, so if you have your 2 lines, if this is your base and this is your one that you're moving, we moved our cipher. I'm going to switch it up. This is the one that moves, this is the one that doesn't. We moved our cipher +6. And then he moved his cipher -6. So it's the same thing, just flip-flopped. And so that was a bit confusing, but then we didn't even have to solve it because Drew was just like,
Drew figured it out. It's Space Gambit.
Drew, tried and true member of the Riddle Boys.
The real Riddle Boy.
He is the riddliest boy.
The brain cell of the Riddle Boy.
And so we entered in the chamber. In the next episode, we will fight a wizard with.
We're gonna fight our big bad.
6 masked face.
Gosh. I'm so unprepared for it to be the last episode of this chapter. That's what I keep calling it. Is I keep calling it chapters.
I think chapters is what we should call it. Chapter 1, chapter 2.
Yeah.
Because we're the paper dungeon.
Right. I agree.
But yeah, I'm excited to fight a spellcaster. We never fight spellcasters. They're just big, beefy people with swords. or claws, and I have counterspell, and I never get to use counterspell. And now I get to use counterspell. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm real excited about it. I've been talking a lot about the 3-year
Oh yeah,
gap.
the 3-year time skip.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
I'm really excited, and I've got some ideas brewing for what's gonna happen, and I'm so excited. It's gonna be so cool. Like, I'm really, really sad because it's like, in a way, it's like Renaya's growing up, and I don't want it. I like little baby Renaya, but at the same time, she's just gonna be a boss. But
Tarak should have counterspelled the Zone of Truth that Rennie broke Grotz's heart with. Sorry, it's line of sight, 60-foot range, but trust me, I would have been down.
Hey, it's all good now.
Yeah, it's fine.
Cleared it up.
Made up. They communicated like a good couple.
They communicated.
Yeah, I'm excited for the time skip. I'm excited to see. I've heard a little bit of Grant's plans for the time skip.
Mm-hmm.
It's a riot.
Yeah.
have you heard what he's planning on doing?
I've heard a little bit.
Oh boy. Oh,
I've heard the general like
concept,
overall concept, and I'm here for it.
Oh, it's gonna be funny. I'm also excited. Grant has asked me to go over Edward's stuff and like
go
figure
through
it all
and
out.
Make sure it's all accurate. Yeah. I honestly should do that too.
I'm in, dog.
The only I feel good on everything leveling up except for the hit points. I think I may have flubbed up the hit points at some point.
That happens.
So I'm gonna go back and recheck that. But yeah. I mean, we've talked about like what you plan with Tarak.
Mm-hmm. Assuming I'm still alive.
Assuming you're still alive.
I don't think that I'll die. I don't think that I die in the next episode. And the only reason is because I want to build that house. But I think that there's still a definite chance of death.
Yeah.
So are we able to know what Renaya has planned for the time skip?
Well, I'm still trying to decide because we're only getting 2 levels.
Mm-hmm. We're getting 3 years.
We're getting 3 years, but only 2 levels.
And I kind of think of it as really only 1 level, because I think that we level up at the end of this fight.
That's a fair way to look at it. Yeah.
But if we aren't doing like massive wars or fighting big monsters or making actual plot progression,
yeah,
it would make sense that we would only level up once every 3 years.
Right. Hold on. I'm actually going to check something right now because this was one of the things that was going to be my deciding factor.
You got it.
Let me see. Okay, I get that. Then, yeah. Okay. So, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go, like, 1 level Warlock, 1 level Cleric. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
That's fair. Split it 50-50.
I've got some plans with Malice. I've got some plans with Grotz. And then I've got some, like, Renaya-focused plans as well. I do plan for Renaya to study some stuff.
Ooh.
She's gonna look into Ruat. I'm debating if she's gonna go back to the library, the Scholar's Guide.
That's fair.
Still trying to decide that.
Has a nice little stairway to hell.
Like that's
nice
little trip to the abyss. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I can really say.
That's fair. In response to Maz's question for what's my backup for when/if Tarak dies, I do know exactly what my backup is. I can tell you that it is not a tank. But I don't want to explain too much of what the backup character is. I put a lot of hints towards it and a lot of things towards not exactly like who the character is, but lead-ins that I can do to get into the party and kind of explain my reason for being there and stuff. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for that character as well. If it ever comes to be,
It'll be
a rough
very
episode when
interesting.
Track dies.
It will be
It'll be
so
a
rough.
super rough episode.
Dude, I guarantee I'm gonna cry.
I'm excited. And you know the best part, Lydia?
What?
I have things in place that if Tarak dies, you will not only cry when Tarak dies, but also at a random point later in some other episode.
No! What the heck, Aaron?
And
That's not fair.
No, Tarak is not willing to come back if he is revivified. The last one was his last time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it'll be great. And I think now, mind you, I haven't necessarily confirmed it with DJ at this moment, but I guarantee you that this is what it'll be. I'll say, "Hey DJ, I have an idea. Since Tarak is dead, that will make Lydia cry at some point in time," and
he's gonna say, "Yeah,
I'm in."
He's gonna be like, "Let's do it."
Look,
gosh,
tears bring the peers. All right, Lydia.
Oh well, I will say something.
Yes.
I have a plan that I don't think anybody is gonna actually expect me to do. I'm not gonna say what it is,
You're
but
gonna
I don't even.
multicast into Bard?
Yeah. How'd you know?
Because everyone wants to.
Facts. No, but I don't even think you're expecting it.
I probably am not. My brain is taken up with a lot of stuff right now.
That's okay.
The think tank is like 50% devoted to figuring out Tarak's next move, 50% devoted to ruining DJ's plans. That's 100% of the think tank. There's some percentage shift with a couple of other things, but
that's fair. Rennie's getting a lawyer to officially divorce her husband? Well, she already has 2 lawyers.
I'm in. Yeah, the Paladin squad. Tarak and Kath are attorneys at law.
Yeah.
Oh man, the business boys, the business paladins, Paladin oath of business, Paladin oath of capitalism.
No.
It's just anytime they divine smite, they have to pay like gold for it.
A spectral hammer, like a gavel.
Oh man, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited for what we do.
Too.
I'm excited.
Too.
We also have a whole bunch of like guest stuff potential in the future.
Possibly, yeah.
So that's rad.
I do have a thing I plan on doing. We'll see if I actually do it. But since it's going to be such a long time between when we go on break and when we start to play again, one thing I want to do is make like, the like Lada comic thing I made?
Yes.
I basically want to do that, but for like different things Renaya does during the break.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
Then like post them throughout the time.
Like an ongoing,
break.
Like, where is Renaya now?
Where's Renaya now? Kind of deal. So then one that'll be like,
what's Lydia's deal?
What's Lydia's deal, honestly? So then one, it'll help me stay connected with Renaya and what she's up to. And then it'll also help keep anybody who's interested in seeing what she's up to, like, tied to her and things like that. Since it's going to be a long time. It's like over a month. I know, Maz, and I did them today. That's why I'm here right now. Take that.
Okay,
yeah, I did my commissions.
I've got to read
it's
this thing real quick.
Okay. Do you need me to like distract or like sit and wait?
You're good. You're good.
Good with what?
This is really fast.
Okay.
Handskate sent me the lyrics to the song that she wanted a character for. So bass. I'm going to tell you right now. Handskate, off of reading just through these lyrics, and I'm not going to give any explanation for it. I just read these lyrics. The character that you are looking for is a drow ranger multi-classed with warlock. The patron for the warlock is the like depths, the fathomless warlock. It's fathomless warlock patron. The ranger is a gloomstalker. and their favored enemy is Beast. So that is the answer to what character this is. Oh yeah, it's a watery edgelord. If you, I'm gonna interrupt this conversation by reading the lyrics.
Go for it.
I've been waiting for this moment to arrive. I can see you for the monster that you are, a predator in the dark, a beast without a heart. I've come for you. I've come for you. They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but I have none to start. So where am I then? Predator in the dark, a beast without a heart. I've come for you. I've come for you. I surrender to the tide. Let the water be my guide. I am a wave on the ocean wide. I will surrender to the tide. Let the water be my guide. I am a wave on the ocean. Watery edgelord. It's been written in the stars that you would fall. I'm certain that you won't fall quietly. A spineless creature in the dark, a beast without a heart. I've come for you. Am I good or am I good?
Proud of you.
Oh jeez, my whole body just popped in like 19 different places. That's a lot of popping. Call me Mary.
What?
Mary Poppins. That's a lot of popping. Call me Mary.
Oh.
The favorite enemy could also change. I just went with Beast because it was mentioned in the song, but it could also be Aberration, Celestial. You can fit in whatever fits into your backstory that you want. But yeah, I'm excited. We've got a lot of stuff planned for the Paper Dungeon. A lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, we got a lot.
And also, so Lydia, I just want, this is for my own benefit. Recording day is the 22nd?
For Camp Cryptid?
Yes.
Sunday.
The 22nd, good.
Yes.
Because I'm like, for a brief second in my mind, I'm like, what if it's the 20th?
No, because the 20th is tomorrow. I work. Then 21st is the Quincy one shot. And then 22nd, I requested off so we could do Camp Cryptid.
Sick. But yeah, so keep an eye out for that in June. Camp Cryptids. It's going to be awesome.
I'm excited. I got more planned out. It's going to be fun.
I'm a horrible person. So
you're horrible.
I
can
kind
confirm.
of want... I'm interested. I might just for fun, and if it's good enough, we'll see if I can actually do something with it. I would love to try to make an intro for it, like not an intro, a like preview thing where it like shows in action, just using the clips from the first episode.
Okay.
To like define who the character is. Like I know I've mentioned it before with the like name and then character that they play, and you like have the art and it's like a freeze frame of them in the background. I was thinking about it on my own time, and I can already think of, I know exactly the scene that I would want for me that like fully explains the type of character I'm playing. And
can you tell what it is, or do you want to keep it secret?
Oh, it's the one where I yeet water balloons at a kid. For context, an event happens, my character wanders off, they're all like celebrating this thing.
Your character's such a jerk.
He's terrible. And so like everyone's like, nice job, guys. They like high five people. And then I'm like, in the background, there's just my character. I'm like holding out a kid, just yeeting water balloons in like their back. just like, and the image of it where it's like, if this was a movie, you have all of the main characters and they're there. And then it like
and then
slightly
it's just
shifts.
Like just a little bit. Only for a second, and then it just comes back.
And it's not even the like water balloon fight mass. It's literally just my character acquired water balloons and was mercilessly yeeting them at the same character. Like, my character is not a good guy. He's like really competitive, absolute edgelord. Doesn't want to talk to anyone and enjoys watching people suffer.
Really, he does.
Oh,
it's
God.
a problem.
He's so much fun to play.
I didn't think you would be the menace, but you are.
Oh, I absolutely am. You thought it would be Grant? It was me the whole time.
No, I thought it would be DJ.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
DJ.
No, DJ's character is just a simp.
Yeah.
That's DJ's character trait.
He's a cute kid with a cute little crush.
Gross.
Anyway.
Hate him. Hate that guy. But yeah, it'll be super fun. I know that the first episode we recorded, I had an absolute blast.
I'm so sad that we didn't get to do all of the things.
I am as well. I was trying.
I know.
I wanted it so bad. I'm like, I need to do this.
But it was totally okay because like I told you guys, I was like, go in on the RP, like have fun with your characters, and that's what you did.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and we had a really, really good time. Maz, the rules, we'll figure out some way to get them to the people. Your system. We need a name for it.
Well, I have them written out.
Yeah, but we could make it pretty.
But I have it pretty.
But like PDF pretty?
Not PDF pretty.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, we can like PDF pretty.
We can make it PDF pretty. But that costs money.
No, it doesn't.
Well, yeah, I want to do it, yeah.
Well, that's fair. You see, my thing is I could just bootleg it. That's how I make my PDFs. But yeah, I'm really excited. We will be in the chat for the most part. Like most of the players will. DJ obviously won't be because the entire reason that we're doing it on Mondays is because DJ's not going to be there.
Yeah.
But the players will be in the group chat. There may be at least one of them that I'm not there for. Just because there's a volleyball game that I might go to on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a maybe. There's also a good chance that I will be there for at least half of it.
Yeah, I'll be there for them.
Grant will be there.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll figure stuff out. We'll
figure it out.
Do fun things. It'll be a fun time.
It'll be a good time. But yeah. There's one other thing I wanted to ask you. It had to do with the break. It had to do with like the time jump. Do we need to make Camp Cryptid Bingo? I don't think we're gonna have time to make Camp Cryptid Bingo. I think Camp Cryptid Bingo will not be worth the effort for how short Camp Cryptid is going to be.
That's a very fair evaluation.
It's only gonna be 4 episodes. I think we'll maybe be able to make 1 bingo square. But I don't really have time to do that. Right, my question.
Oh, yes.
It had to do with after the time skip.
After the time skip. Approaching track death time.
No. No. Okay, we'll talk. Okay. Oh gosh, what was it?
After the time skip.
After the time skip.
How do you think we're gonna get back together as a group? Is it?
No, but that's interesting.
I mean, I don't know what DJ's thinking. DJ's got.
I know. Drew has an idea for what he wants to do.
Is it the group shots?
No, that's another thing that I want to talk with you guys about. The more I think about it, the more I like the idea of us each getting like an hour like scene of whatever we want.
I'm down.
For our own thing. Because
I'm down with whatever people want to do.
Because my thing is I'm like, none of the like actual relevant stuff that's going to happen with Renaya like involves you guys.
Yeah.
Because like we were told it was like DJ told us that last year we weren't going to be together.
Like, talk to each other.
Yeah.
I hope that if we go with the 1 hour individual scene things, that yours is just your honeymoon. I hope that's all it is. You just go to a beach and hang out. Like.
No. No, I think I have a few ideas for what mine could be.
Your honeymoon or your one shot?
No, my one shot. That is not the honeymoon.
Dang it. Oh, Lydia, you were there for the worst ship conversation, right?
I was there for the aftermath of it.
You were there, so yeah, you were there
so
when
I
I was
know
talking
about
Lad word.
Yep.
Oh man.
Why? Why did you need to bring that up again?
Well, I was thinking about honeymoons, and then that started me thinking about ships, and then it landed up on the best worst possible ship in the whole show.
It's bad.
For those of you who don't understand,
no, we don't, Maz.
Lada is, or at least was, Renaya's foster mom. She no longer remembers her. Edward is a character in the show. The worst possible ship is Lada and Edward, aka Ladward. There is a deep pain. It hurts. Cuts deep.
It's bad.
It's terrible.
It's horrible.
It's the worst ship in the show.
It's really not okay.
It's bad. So, for those of you who are Ladward stans, what's wrong with you?
No. Stop. It's just Maz.
Oh.
Catherine Prazius is the Catherine Prazius, the enemies to lovers. Like, it can work. It can work better than Ladward.
So, Sea Slug Wizard, to explain what exactly you're experiencing, this is called Table Scraps. It's a show that we run on Thursdays that is either about our show on Mondays or about random things that we end up talking about.
It's just Maz.
In this certain experience that you have walked into, in our Discord, which we would love if you were to enter if you aren't in there already, we were in the voice chat, chatting with a lot of the viewers and stuff, and I brought up, I'm a big fan of ships in our show, like shipping two characters. I think it's a riot. And at some point in time, I was trying to figure out what the worst ship was. And I could not come up with anything worse than an NPC named Lada and one of our characters whose name is Edward. Edward is a prissy little rich boy, and Lada is like an aggressive mom. And there's no tropes that they fall into. There's no good.
It's just weird.
Edward is horrible, and it's just a bad ship. And I think that it's funny, but it's also painful. So that's what you walked into today, Sea Slug.
Welcome in.
Welcome to Table Scraps. Yeah. Now, if you can think up a worse one, Lydia, or anyone in the chat, a worse ship.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to think about that.
Could be fun, though. Could it be fun?
No, I don't want to do that. No.
Hear me out.
What?
I don't know,
You said hear you out. You didn't
Yeah, that was hearing me out. It was just
to hear you out, saying hear you out?
Yeah, well, hear me out on the whole, we could make bad ships and it would be great. Tarak and Tiala is pretty bad, but that almost falls into the
enemies to lovers
trope,
yeah.
which is great, and we love the enemies to lover trope. By the way, hello, the hobo. Welcome to Table Scraps. We're talking about bad ships. See, so we'll try. If you have some bad ships from Common Media, I won't stop you from posting them in the chat.
I don't know. I don't want to open up to this.
Really
no, we're not opening this up. We're not opening it up for people to send, because that can get real bad real fast.
That is very fair. Thank you. That's actually a very good point.
I don't want it.
Now, actually, I am okay with this. If you want to talk about bad boats, that's okay.
Bad boats.
If you're like, man, Bismarck, overcomplicated. Very, very solid point. Sea Slug, a very easy way to fix that problem is we actually have a YouTube where I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for that to turn into a plug. I did mean for that to turn into a plug. Hello, Raiden.
Gosh.
Welcome. Welcome
Hi,
to Table Scraps
Raiden.
today. Titanic, poorly designed. Don't know what to talk about. Bad ships. That's such a good. That was
well done.
Um,
I still don't remember my thing.
I've been trying to stall for you to figure it out.
I know but all it's done is distracted me from thinking about it.
It sounds like a personal problem.
It is.
Oh man, but I should say, because there are some new people here, we do have.
No.
I would like to just say that the hobo, you are killing it with your knowledge of like Navy ships. Like, that's Edmund Fitzgerald.
What?
Lydia, you're
That's my mom, and I don't know what she means.
Edmund Fitzgerald. You're gonna have to elaborate. But your knowledge of like aquatic transportation is excellent. Ships that match the water, not a good plan. Not a good plan.
Not a good plan.
Then again, what if you're trying to hide, though?
Great! You're doing a good job. I'm upset to where we've come. I want to go somewhere else.
I mean, we could just end the stream. I've been streaming for almost 2 hours and 30 minutes.
No, I have a question and I need to figure it out.
Oh, the Edmund Fitzgerald is a ship that the iron boat that sunk in the Great Lakes. Big sad story, and there's a song. I thought that you were talking about the member of Destiny's Gamble.
Of Destiny's Gamble. That's where my brain went too.
Who was the better version of Edward.
We're dummies.
Oh man.
Anyway, so we're
Cecil, you were there for the song character things? That's awesome. I'm glad that you enjoyed that. The Beatles' Yellow Submarine, probably better than you'd expect. Why does that gives me the exact same vibe as like smarter than the average bear. Oh, well, you missed out. I made a character based off of Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. Thanks to Lydia for giving me the worst possible song name.
Oh, you wanted a challenge. Everybody else was giving you bangers. I needed to give you a challenge.
What do you mean Never Gonna Give You Up isn't a banger?
I mean like
it was number one on the British broadcast.
It's not edgy, you know.
That is true. Yeah.
Thank you for the gifted subs.
Yes, thank you for the gifted subs. I got distracted thinking about Never Gonna Give You Up, okay?
Never Gonna Give You Up.
I can do Druid Sandstorm. I can do it.
Easily.
But yeah.
Gosh.
So you'll have to tune in some other time, because I'll probably do this again if people were interested / enjoyed it. Because I really enjoy doing it. Character out of Tonight You Belong to Me. Tempting.
Are you writing it down?
I have a list.
I'm here from TikTok. Someone professed love. There was a Nat 1 in the Zone of Truth with cast. I will always be summoned by romance in D&D. Same.
Oh, well, you are talking to the right cast member here. Oh, thank you for the gifted sub again.
Thank you for more gifted subs. Yeah.
Yeah, Lydia is our romance specialist at the moment. We had a different romance earlier between two characters, but now one of them's dead and the other one doesn't remember her. So, you know, now we have Lydia.
It happens.
And the
now you
Demon
have
Prince of Pleasure,
me,
so.
My character, and the Demon Prince of Pleasure. So, it all works out in the end.
It's great. Oh man, you see, that's the thing that I have never been good at. I've never been good at romance in D&D. Which is strange. It's just not my specialty.
So that was actually something I was talking about in like the Discord like voice chat with some people. I was talking about like the experience of romance in like RP romance in D&D, because it's like, if you go back and you like watch from the beginning, because that's one of the things that has been really interesting to me, especially with like Raiden and Sky, because they're catching up on all the episodes, is like what that's like watching it play out so much faster than it did in real time.
Oh yeah.
Because I know that in the beginning I was really, really, really uncomfortable doing the romance thing. Not in the like I didn't want to do it, but in a I wasn't sure how to do it.
Yeah, it's like your boss telling you to do this job and you're like, I've never done this before. I'm going to do it because I need to get paid. But like I don't know anything about that.
But yeah, so it was like you can see me like trying to like get comfortable with it, and then things like that, and you can see me and DJ try to navigate how, because first of all, this isn't like, first of all, I don't think there's such thing as a normal romance in D&D.
No such thing. Can't
no
be done.
such thing. But especially with this one,
probably won't be done.
but with this one, especially, it was like I was really uneasy about it because I didn't know what direction DJ was going. Because again, it's the love interest is Grotz, the demon prince of pleasure, which it's like you hear that and you're like, well, that's gonna be bad. You're like, you don't want that kind of deal. And it actually took me a really long time, because a big thing was like, I was like, I don't want to get emotionally hurt this way. I'm like, I don't want that.
Because you know DJ's, well, I don't know DJ, if you know, I know that DJ's out for vengeance.
DJ is always out to get me. So I was like, I don't want to be gotten this way. And then it's only been in the recent episodes that it's been very kind of clear that
this is
DJ is taking Grotz in a very different direction than a traditional Grotz. And that ties into prophecies and things like that are happening in our game and blah blah blah. Homebrew. We love homebrew. Homebrew. But knowing that like I'm not gonna get my heart broken, or I'm gonna get my heart broken, but in like a way I'm okay with.
Yeah.
That's definitely opened up a big comfort level in doing stuff like that. But ultimately, like, it's really fun.
I'm glad that you're having a good time.
I have a lot of fun with it. It's always a challenge because I always want to throw DJ off. That's kind of my challenge. Is I'm like, I want to throw DJ off.
Also, Tamashisaka, that's a super cool thing that has occurred. Also, I saw your comment earlier, which was I would fight demons and God, but I give up to the feels. Same in, I think, a different way than what was implied. I, as I've mentioned many a time, super down to fight demons and God. People like feels, and I'm like, I don't know how to interact with this. And it's super weird, because I'm a big fan of like in some ways, I would consider myself kind of a hopeless romantic. Like that, like I love the like old-fashioned like love story kind of thing. I find it super interesting. I just don't know how to do that in character. So I'm just like, I don't know how to do that. So yeah, it's a difficult thing. I love that some people can relate to on this topic.
Yeah.
Of the like connection to characters and stuff, and the like emotional pain and suffering.
Well, and it's like
Raiden.
That was oh no. Well, and that was another thing that I actually like talked a little bit about in the Discord, was like I've like gone through personal stuff that's been really rough, and I talked more with my mom about it, and it's like, especially this last episode, it like it felt really good to have that. Like it felt really good to get my character to work through something that I too have been working through in my own way.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously you don't want to go overboard because D&D is not the equivalent of therapy.
It is not a therapy session. But it is it's in the same way as like cartoons being a really accessible way for kids to understand like adult concepts at time. And that can also be kind of in Dungeons and Dragons. Like it's a good way to experience things that you couldn't necessarily experience without getting so close that they actually harm you.
Right.
And kind of being able to process things almost from a third person perspective. I have something in my eye. And
Get it out. It's your finger.
Pain. No, my finger is outside of my eye trying to touch something within it that I can't actually touch.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was like it was really cool too cuz and then on top of it, like I know it got kind of memed on, but like the actual scar removal thing.
Oh yeah.
That made Lydia's heart very, very, very happy that got to happen.
Oh yeah, I think it was super, super good. Like story-wise, theme-wise, episode-wise, roleplay-wise, that event was super, super awesome. I also love the fact that it was memed on.
I love that it was memed on as well. I appreciate that it was memed on.
I think that there was one of my favorite things that DJ said that I was like, that's out of context. That's the worst possible thing you could have said. Was just like, it's really hot and it hurts really suddenly. Like something like that. It's like he touches you and it's really hot and it hurts really suddenly and like kind of a burning sensation. And it's like,
well, and the other thing too with it was like I didn't expect it to happen like right then. I thought it was going to happen at a different point in time. But then it was like, "Oh, okay, we're doing it." Oh, all right.
Absolutely. Like so the same thing happened later in that episode, much less important. With the like Tarak disarming the trebuchets, because I'm like, so is it possible to disarm these trebuchets? Teacher's like, yes, roll this kind of check, and I'm like, okay, guess we're doing it.
But I mean, I love that he throws you in though.
100%.
Like
very,
it's
very
amazing.
Well done.
But you just don't expect it.
100%,
You're like,
I was like,
oh god, we're going in.
Possible, and then I decided to do it. I didn't think that meant that I was doing it like right now.
But yeah.
Yeah. Episode all around was very good in my opinion.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And then yeah, but as far as because there's the one comment, D&D is some kind of therapy. I'm not social in real life, but when I play, I'm like the most open person ever. It depends on the character that I'm playing. I feel you. Like I think D&D, it's definitely like you shouldn't rely on it, but it's a very helpful tool in.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In navigating stuff.
It does not take over the role of a professional taught therapist or counseling
but
or
it's
whatever
like,
else.
Like
but
I know
it's a good supplementary tool.
There are like counselors and therapists that use D&D to help people.
I did a research project in high school about Dungeons and Dragons, and its use for like ADHD and like other similar things, like ADD. There was another one that for the life of me I can't. Autism was another one that it was like used a lot in, and they did like research studies and stuff on it. And it has like a lot of like really legitimate use, be it like for remembering things or teaching things, just experience things that you need to learn about. I will state, don't force your DM into the role of therapist if they are not okay with that.
Please don't.
But definitely play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Use it whatever way you can.
Yeah. Well, and
watch our show.
Well, and it's also like it's especially cool for me. So a bit of like personal backstory is once pandemic hit, I've had really bad anxiety for forever. Um, but when the pandemic hit and we kind of all went into lockdown, that just gave me an excuse to lock myself in my
Mm-hmm.
house. And like without D&D, I'd honestly have just become a hermit. Like
I already am. I don't do anything.
But like I wouldn't talk to anybody. I wouldn't leave the
Absolutely.
house. Like I wouldn't have done anything. But like because D&D was one super fun, and two was a way that I could safely navigate things.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
And it's
Yeah,
also a good way
D&D
to like
rocks.
talk to people and like
Yeah.
find people that you normally, because like especially once you're out of like common schooling, it's really hard to make contact with people. Like you either keep the ones that you have, or it's like I don't know how to get more people. It's not like I have a school that I'm forced to sit around with people all the time. Um, and Dungeons and Dragons is a really good way to do that. Oh geez,
Yeah.
the thing that I was gonna say, I don't remember quite what it was, which is a real bummer because I'm sure that it was very deep and insightful. So instead, I'm just going to bring up. Thank you for saying that the plug was incredibly subtle. I am the plug master.
Wait, what did you plug?
That was so subconscious.
I didn't even notice it. What did you do? What did you plug?
Yeah, it was just when I was like, you could watch our show, and it was just at the end there, and that's
Wow.
you didn't even realize it.
No, I didn't even notice it. Dang,
Yeah.
that was smooth.
100%. Like so Lydia is known by the rest of the group as the plug. Because people just reach out to Lydia. They're like, "Hey, Lydia, I would love to do something with the show," and also, "Hey, Lydia, I would love if you would do stuff with our show." And Lydia's got more contacts than any of us combined. And the difference is that I am the plugger. I'm the plugger. She's the plug. That's where we're at. Is like during the show, I'm that guy. I'm the villain. I'm the shiller. That sounded sexual and I don't like it. Well, let me tell you, you're not gonna like this past episode either. Because if that got you the first 20 minutes, you're just gonna see me and Grant being like, oh, I don't know about that one. Buddy.
Don't listen to him. The first 20 minutes is really sweet.
It was sweet, adorable.
And Aaron and Grant are just memes.
We're bad people. I accept it. But yeah, okay, bold claim. I think our show's pretty good.
I think our show's pretty good too.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I was talking about this earlier too with my grandma. I was talking about how it's really cool because she had pointed out a comment we had gotten, I think either in chat or on a TikTok or something. No. It was complimenting the art and the music. And I was talking to my grandma and I was like, that stuff's like super like extra sweet because that stuff first of all, it's really cool that we don't get complimented on it. Because that means that it's like it works and it's like it looks easy, it's like we just have it. It's not like in your face. Yeah, it's natural. So first of all, like that's awesome. But when it does get noticed and when it does get pointed out, because it's something we don't really talk about as much as I think we all want to talk about it, is that we do everything.
Oh yeah. For those of you who don't know, all of our overlays, all of the character art at this moment, everything that we do was arted and created by Lydia. There's the link tree. Nice plug, Lydia. Nice plug.
Thanks.
And then all of the music on the show, which you don't actually have any here on this one, but like any music that you hear during the show, during our starting screen or our ending screen or anything like that, was made by Drew and Grant. They recorded all the music, did all the things, edited it, wrote it, everything.
Mm-hmm.
DJ and I are here. The other members of the group do literally everything.
Well, that's not fair. So okay, so because I broke it down. So it's like, so I do the art.
Yeah.
I do the art and I do a lot, and then Grant and I do a lot of the editing. Grant does the editing for YouTube. I do editing for TikToks. Grant and Drew work a lot on the music, and Drew does all of the like streaming stuff except for Table Scraps. You do the streaming stuff for Table Scraps. Then it's you navigate all of the business and financial ends of everything, because we're a legit business. That's a thing that I don't think we talk about a lot. It's like Paper Dungeon is a business. And then DJ has created this whole big homebrew world and is running a like almost 2-year long campaign that has been consistent almost every single week. And it's like, that's crazy for that's crazy for like just a D&D campaign in general.
And that isn't even counting sideshows like Between the Rows, a whole bunch of other like things that we've done yearly. Gosh dang, the one that's coming out, Camp Cryptid. Like, it isn't just one show either. It's also all of the other side stuff
we do
that
so many things, and so it's so cool that when we get to talk about it, because I know we're all like really, really proud of it too.
Oh yeah.
And so it's.
I've brought it up before. I've brought it up multiple times. All right. I think that the most marketable aspect of the Paper Dungeon is the skills involved in the people that are a part of it.
100%.
I think that we should do more of
We're
that
cool
stuff.
people.
I think that we should have more like solo group streams. I would love, like, even if it's like a once a month thing or once every other month, where it's just like a stream that we do where it's insert person teaches the Paper Dungeon how to blank. And
I love that.
It's like a Lydia art stream where she's like, today we're going to be drawing this.
I get to do a Bob Ross tutorial.
Yeah, you get to Bob Ross, and then all of us also get to participate in it. DJ is like, hey, today I'm going to teach y'all how to draw a map. Or even if it's just a solo thing and we aren't involved, DJ's just like, hey, we're going to go backpacking. Like, we're going to go on a hike or something like that. Grant making music. I would love so much an episode of Drew teaches the Paper Dungeon how to play League of Legends. I think that it would be hilarious.
I don't want that. No.
The fact that you hate it would make it such good content. Is you just being there?
That's true.
Being there, Drew, I don't understand.
Drew,
why am I doing this?
Drew, help me.
How do I attack again? And Drew's like, oh my god.
Drew, I can't reach the button.
Left click.
I can't reach it.
Left click on the enemy.
It's not working.
And you're like, but I thought left clicking was how you move. And he's like, yes, it is both. You both move and you attack.
How can it be both?
I think it would be awesome. I think it would be so good. Like Drew doing that type of content, or just editing like sound files. They don't have to be long. They could be an hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours.
That's so fun.
I like playing Smite or a card. I would love to like teach people how to play Magic the Gathering or something along those lines.
Oh my gosh. That should be Patreon content.
Patreon
honestly.
content. That would be awesome.
So fun to do as like actual like videos.
Yeah, and we could even do like a series thing. Like, so one of the examples that I think of is Game Grumps a long time ago did Guild Grumps, where Ross, one of their members, attempted to teach the group how to play World of Warcraft. Mm-hmm. And all of them just hated
I think you've talked about this, yeah.
Oh man, I would love to do something along those lines where it's like, sup guys, we're going to be learning how to play insert this game. And everyone's just like, I don't want to be here. I liked this part of it, and the rest of it was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, I think that we should show that, because like, we have a lot of skills that, like, obviously, I'm sure that we aren't alone in the world that we have these skills, but the fact that we are at the level that we are, and we have all gathered into the same group is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And we should show that off. And then that means that all y'all in the chat, because here's the thing, this is the marketing perspective of it. That means that the people watching us, all of you in there, aren't watching us because we're good at Dungeons and Dragons, or because the story is interesting, or because you like the romance aspect. You watch it because you like the players. You like what they do, you like who they are, you find them interesting.
That's honestly the goal. Yeah.
So then, when all of us start to do other things, because the Paper Dungeon I see as kind of a hub. When Lydia goes and does a whole bunch more solo streams or does art stuff or anything else like that, you guys will then go and watch her not because it's like, oh, Lydia's going to play Dungeons and Dragons. No, you watch it because Lydia's great.
Well, and that's another thing I was talking to my grandma about. I went on to my grandma today. I went over to see her, and I just went off for probably about an hour about just Paper Dungeon.
We love Lydia's grandma.
Everything. We love Grandma Corn.
She shows up in chat sometimes, and it's hilarious.
She does. She's bear lover some number. But I like yelling at Lydia about her flower eyeshadows. Leave me and my flower eyeshadows alone, unless I ask you to pick them. Then you can. But what was I talking about? My grandma. I was talking about grandma. Oh, so it's it's really, 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 really cool because we've got a really neat community.
Oh yeah.
Where it's there's my grandma. That's my grandma.
Bear Lover 46.
There's my grandma.
Lydia's grandma.
But it's we've got the awesomest people, and it's really cool because where we're at right now is we get to hang out with you guys. Mm-hmm. We get to hang out in Discord, and it's so fun, and it's really cool because everybody's so chill and is super welcoming. We've run into minimal problems. Mm-hmm. We've had maybe one issue that we resolved like that, and then it was done, and
maybe
then
1.5.
But it's we've got, and it's also really cool because the people who are there now have kind of established going forward how it's going to be, because anybody who comes in is going to see the people that are already there, and first of all,
interact and stuff.
Yeah, they'll know how to interact, and second of all, the people who are there are probably some of the sweetest, most welcoming people ever.
Oh, very much so.
So
my favorite part of the Discord is whenever anyone joins, we just spam the wave to say hi button.
It's hilarious.
70 people.
It's probably the most obnoxious thing to whoever comes in.
Oh, they're like, why am I getting so many notifications? I'm leaving this. You just get on out of there. I think it's awesome. Also, we have a whole bunch of varied interests in our community as well. We have a chat in our Discord that is pretty much dedicated to food. So, people post recipes and pictures of food that they make. Handskate is an incredible baker and maker of food.
Pool, you're lying.
In there.
Sorry. I needed to call out Pool's
We have a bunch of liars like Pool.
Pool.
And then we have a corn chat. We've got just a random chat where Lydia and a bunch of people post memes with zero. I love the out of context quotes.
Out of context quotes is golden.
It's hilarious. There's so much just quality entertainment in the out of context quotes. I'm going to once again bring up my current favorite, which is Grant telling me I'm going to put my ginger in your glove box. And I don't know why, but that sentence kills me. Oh God. Gub Gub from Lydia.
Gub Gub.
It's an incredible community that we have. I like the fact that we're also now actually using the voice chats, and people are using them independently. Mm-hmm. Without us having to be there. That's super cool. So yeah, we're the entire cast very thankful for the people who watch us and Sky has been in one for 18 hours.
Sky's still in there.
Yeah, I went and got Culver's today, and I talked to Sky on the way there, and I'm like, hey, are you there? and I hear like rustling, and then I'm like, huh? What? You've been asleep for the past 10 minutes. Don't lie, Skyros. Don't lie.
Well, I woke up this morning at like 4 a.m. to see Drew and Raiden playing, what's it?
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring? I got to watch them do that for another 2 hours.
Can I just say, Lydia, I would love a series where you just play various games.
I want to do it with Drew specifically.
100%. Drew, he's like, dodge. You're like, dodge.
What is that? I'm like, what does that mean?
Like, he's like, yes, it's circle.
Okay.
Like, I thought that was select. He's like, no, that's X. Like any game that you are playing, because the thing is, right? I have a feeling you would pick it up. It would take a little bit, but you would get there.
It would take me time, but I could get there.
100%. And that development from the start of just terror of like, you've died 80 times. And then it's like, progress! We've done it! And it's like the tutorial. I would love it. I would love it so much. I think that it would be fantastic content.
I'm for it.
Yeah, I'm excited. There's a lot of things that we can do, and I'm excited to see all the stuff that you're doing too. For those of you who don't know, I know I plugged it earlier. Lydia's going to be in a one-shot this weekend.
Yeah,
it's going to be awesome. I'm going to hopefully be able to tune into it, because anytime that Lydia streams that it isn't a Monday evening, somehow I'm asleep when it happens. And it's like, it can be any time of day. And it's not like I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just going to say that I fall asleep. No. She'll like, okay, I streamed at noon. And on that day specifically, I had woken up at 4 for some reason. And I was like, I'm going to take a nap. And I decided to take a nap at 11. Then I wake up at 3 and Lydia has ended her stream. And I'm like, then the next day I'm like, it's all right. Like for the next like week, I'll be like, she streams at 12. And then she's like, hey, I'm going to stream at 4 today. And I decided to take a nap at like 3. It's every single time. I just managed to pick it, and I feel so bad. Skyros, go to sleep.
Sky, go to bed.
Go to bed.
It's okay. We'll be here.
Your sleep schedule can deal with it.
Your sleep schedule is already broken. It got bunked.
Shameful, Skyros. We're gonna peer pressure you into going to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. You would be much cooler. You would be. I would consider you a cool person if you would do like go to sleep.
Yeah, you'd be
like super cool. Like if you
like
don't go to sleep, you're pretty lame.
Yeah, you wouldn't be Super Sky. You'd be Sad Sky.
Schedule. It's
broken.
We are severely off track. We didn't really have one to start with. But I will say that I have been live with Table Scraps for 3 hours at this point in time. Should we wrap it up? Do you have anything else that you would like to cover? Same for the chat. Are there any things that you want us to talk about that, and this is legit want us to talk about, that is interesting and worth the time?
Now that you've emphasized seriousness, you know it's not going to be that.
I know, Handskate, normally there isn't a track, but, you know, we try to keep it somewhere near what we talk about.
No, we don't.
Why D12s should be used as the damage die for darts and daggers. Tempting. I will actually investigate. So Quincy, I will actually entertain this question. So here's the thing. Do I necessarily think that D12 should be used for darts and daggers? No. But I think that we should look into changing up. This is actually I'm actually really excited about it. No one ever talks about this topic. We should change up damage dice.
I think so too.
So like, and also you can theme it in various different ways. I think that there should be different types of die and different modifiers depending on who made the weapon. All right. So like, yeah, right. Like, so you could have 2 rapiers.
Yeah.
One of them was made by orcs. One of them was made by elves.
Uh-huh.
All right. Let's say that the orcish rapier would still deal 1d8 damage, but it would have a +1 to its damage, a -1 to its to hit. So it's like, it's harder to hit with it because it's crudely made, but it's also just heavier and beefier, so it hurts more.
Mm-hmm.
But the elven one, instead of doing a d8, you could do 2d4. Still dealing a traditional like d8 of damage. The maximum is still the same.
Right. Yeah.
But the average is more consistent.
Uh-huh.
So it's more likely that you're going to roll, because it's efficient, it's technical, it's well made. Regardless of how you hit, it's going to be pretty dang good.
It's kind of sick.
It's awesome, and you can do that for all sorts of things.
Really
like that could also be for dwarves, and then for elves, because it's a lighter weapon. Maybe the orcs is +1 to -1, elves is the +1 to hit, -1 to damage, and then the dwarves deal the 2d4 instead. Like something along those kind of lines. Like that's what I think should be more looked into, is because it can be really boring at times, where it's like, why would I choose a scimitar over a short sword?
Right.
Doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
So there should be some kind of effect or difference in the dice, or how that works.
Like, weapons are almost customizable in a way.
Exactly.
Because that's one of the things that I always get disappointed in, is because I'm always picking the same weapons, because I'm like, obviously I want the better dice one.
100%. Like, if you are a barbarian, you take a great axe.
Yeah.
If you are a fighter, you take a great sword, because you want the bigger die for your crits as a barbarian, but you want the more consistent damage for your multiple attacks for the fighter. Change it up. Do some cool stuff. I think that there needs to be like a compendium of cool stuff to do with weapons.
I support this.
Also, Skyros, I made a class for that. I didn't make a class, but I made a specific shield to work with another shield. So, if you're ever interested, I've got rules for that. If you go back into the archives and you look at the first table scraps, Shadows on the Mountain, the warriors of that city use the dual shields.
That's such a throwback.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is one thing that I haven't even talked to you about. I figured out my new, table scraps character.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to elaborate that on the show, or do you want to save it for later?
Well, what do you want? Since
I'm down with whatever. I'm just the DM. If you want to keep your character a secret, you can.
No, I want to tell you.
All right,
hold on, I gotta pull
listen up.
I'm gonna find it. Hold on. This will take a sec. Keep stalling.
Skyros, you go get yourself some chalky MILF.
Leave Maz alone.
I can't let that
Leave
die.
Brittany alone. Where'd they go?
Get some chalky MILF and go to sleep. For those who don't understand the context, Maz made a typo one time.
Maz made a typo
and I'll never
once.
let it die.
Just like when I killed my friend in a session.
Yep.
And Maz never lets me live it down.
Yeah. I mean, it was just one time. Could have been worse. I will absolutely allow this. Oh man, our memes. Concentrate, Lydia. I'm stalling.
Right, I got it pulled up. Okay, so tiefling bard named Charm. Then I'm trying to find the College of Glamour.
Ooh.
Because I love College of Glamour.
Hold on. Wait, go to the first sentence before College of Glamour.
Tiefling bard.
Tiefling bard.
Charm.
I was reading.
Got you.
And so I was like, I go in and it's like, wait, no, she said a sentence before before bard. So Tiefling bard.
Tiefling bard. College of Glamour. Name is Charm.
Name is Charm.
And I think we settled on like yes, it was like a sea green kind of color tiefling, and then wears like pink as the visual, and then that's about all I got.
Perfect.
Oh, but she was gonna be like an acrobat.
Nice. I love College of Glamour.
I do too. I have a shirt.
I think it's super cool.
College of Glamour was my first class that I actually got to like legitimately play.
Sweet. I have played in a game with someone who is College of Glamour. I have played a very short game where I played a character of College of Glamour. And then I've also DM'd for a player who used College of Glamour. And always, it's pretty dang alright.
It's fun. It's a fun one.
Cool. We actually realized something earlier on this stream today about bards. There isn't a bard subclass that actually is about music.
Like, not specifically, no. I'd say, I think College of Glamour is kind of a close one.
College of Glamour is like fey charm stuff. So you can use music to activate a lot of the things, and you can do a performance. But you can also like dance or do acrobatics and things like that for your performance. There's no like, I play music and therefore magic. Music is just kind of involved.
Well, and that's kind of
like a flavor fail. Well,
honestly, I kind of like that it never specifies music, because it's like that's kind of the trope with bards.
Yeah.
But so it's nice to be like, but you could be as creative as you want.
I agree, but I feel like there should also be a class for music.
That's true, but
Right? Because, like, what if I do want to play up to that?
Let me look into this.
Like, I'm sure that there's a homebrew one, but I don't know of one that is, like, in canon.
Let's see. So there's creation. That won't be it.
That's not. Like,
eloquence is not it.
It makes a dancing creation. So it's assumed that you play music and it dances. But the actual point of the class is the fact that you make something. And then it works with the stuff that you do.
There's Lord, then spirits, then...
I don't even know how spirits ended up as a bard subclass.
Then swords and valor and whispers,
No music stuff. And I think that's crazy. Like...
But, I mean, bard and... Like, literally, when you go to bard, the very first, like, section is music and magic.
And yet there isn't a subclass for it?
Because I think it kind of is like, it's like squares and rectangles.
It's like assumed that you use music, but what if I only want to do music?
Well, how? How would you want to use your music? I think is what the subclass is. I would like to
specifically have things that involve the use of your proficiency with instruments to cause effects, kind of like how the artificer is proficient in a specific tool, and then they're able to use that tool as their spellcasting thing, or to, like, modify a spell that they have or something like that.
I see what you mean.
Specifically for music.
I get it.
And it's fine if it isn't there, but this just feels like a misstep, where it's like, we're just going to assume that all bards use music, but it's not going to be the focus of it. It's just going to be a thematic thing. Boo.
Boo!
Boo! I don't want a thematic thing. I want to go all in. I want to go whole hog.
That's fair. That's very you.
It's also it's a me thing. But yeah. All right. So you've talked about your character. Is there anything else that you want to talk about? Because I'm out. I've been stalling for like 3 hours.
I think I'm out too, but before like we can wrap up the thing, but I still need to talk to you about Between the Rows.
Yes. Afterwards.
What were you gonna say?
Sorry, I saw Raiden's spell, College of Composition. Like, could you instead of a wand, you have a conductor's baton, and you like conduct magic, and like the sounds flow through you. That's awesome.
That's pretty lit.
That's so cool.
That's cool.
Why does none of the music... Sorry. Anyway,
Oh, wait, Quincy brings up a very good point.
What?
Dusty
The gnome.
I can talk about Dusty
I
the
was
Gnome a
expecting to
little bit.
look down and be like, on the contrary, there's this class from the Sword Coast Adventurers Guide in the index, and instead I look down and I see a character name, and I'm like, oh, okay. So Dusty the Gnome is
Dusty the Gnome.
doing bard nonsense.
Dusty the Gnome is actually not. I saw her art and love already. I gotta talk with you. I gotta talk with you about stuff.
Okay.
Not you, Aaron, Quincy.
No. Did you already tell us? Did I already forget what class Dusty is, or did you say you
Circle of Stars Druid?
Yes, I remember now. I'm excited.
Yeah, so Dusty is my Circle of Stars Druid. She's just a sleepy little gnome. She has a cool staff stick thing. It's just for bonking. It looks magical, but it's just for
You're
bonking.
Going full shillelagh?
Yeah. And then she has a stuffed bear. His name's Little Dip. And Little Dip is her druid focus.
This is excellent.
And he's like her faithful companion, and he's literally attached at her hip at all times.
That's so good.
And then she has a cloak of protection because we were allowed like a magic item, and so I made it the cloak of protection. But hers is fashioned to be a snuggie.
Oh,
and then she has this she has this headband, and it is also her eye mask, so she'll just pull it down and go to sleep if she ever wants to. She's baby is what she is. She's my baby. I'm so excited.
So I'm going to bring
stick.
up something that is somewhat in context, but also is just a fun fact that I learned.
Okay.
I recently watched a video about shillelagh, like what a shillelagh is, and like how, like, I didn't actually know that. I'm like, I know that this is a word that exists because like there's the Dungeons and Dragons spell. A shillelagh. I don't know if it is. I want to say it's Irish, but they would take like a branch of some kind of like a blackthorn or something like that, and then like coat it in pitch and then smoke it in a chimney, so it would like gloss the pitch and harden the stick, and it was a walking stick that was commonly used for self-defense. So there's just like a bunch of art of people just whacking each other on the face with like just a dark stick that has like a knob on it as like a thing, and it's just great. I think it's super cool. And then Dungeons and Dragons was like, hey, we're gonna make a really cool spell that is actually not exactly very useful, but it's here.
Hi, Ready Set Crit.
Hello.
Ready Set Crit. I'm gonna be playing on there.
Yes, that's a second thing that you'll be doing as well.
Gosh, I'm so excited. But I pulled up Dusty's art. I don't know how well it's gonna show because I just have my iPad. Hold on, my screen's probably really gross. Let me
go to sleep. Go to
sleep. Are you telling Sky? Wait.
No. That's well, I mean, also Sky should go to sleep.
Sure.
But I was just reading Quincy's message. Man, yeah, no, Lydia, you've got stuff going on.
I got stuff going on, and I'm so freaking excited. It's so fun. I love D&D, and I love the people I get to play D&D with. Okay, hold on. Gotta find it. There it is. Here we go. Here's Dusty. It's a Dusty. It's a little Dusty. And Dusty is short for Stardust. But this is a Dusty. It's a Dusty.
There we go.
Hold on. It's too bright. Hold on.
I can see it pretty well.
It's a Dusty. It won't work.
Hey, but you can see it in our Discord.
In our Discord. Yeah, it's there.
Go to sleep. Yeah, our Discord has all of Lydia's art. Not all of it, but a whole bunch of it. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I am incredibly jealous of the amount of Dungeons and Dragons you get to play. I wish.
I'm really excited.
I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to see all the stuff you do.
And it's really funny because it's like, so I'll be I'll be playing more, and then I'm actually working on my own campaign to do like just in my own free time,
Mm-hmm.
just for funsies, so that I can get extra practice DMing. Um, and it's like I had to go into work and be like, "Hey, so I kind of gotta like restrict my hours because of how much D&D I'm gonna
I
be
just have so
playing
much.
now."
I have so much of this board game that I need to play.
I need to. Well, the thing was it's like I already work part-time hours, so it was just about like specifying when to put those hours. So I'm still getting the same hours. It's just like it's not as free flowing.
Yeah,
But I'm here for it. It's all I want.
I'm excited.
I just want D&D.
It's a good thing that I like watching people play Dungeons and Dragons almost as much as I enjoy playing Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm gonna ask for like the fourth time.
Okay.
Do you have any more stuff to talk about?
No.
Okay. Does anyone in the chat say it now or forever,
Forever
hold your
your peace.
Do you have any questions for me or Lydia about Dungeons and Dragons or the Paper Dungeon or things that we find interest in that want to talk about?
Tacabacco, tinkle outside the binkle. Sorry, keep going.
Do you have anything? Do you have one-shots with fans? At the moment, no. But on my own stream that I have not started up yet, I do have plans to figure out some kind of system where I could like play a Dungeons and Dragons theme with viewers on stream. But that is, I don't even have a stream set up right now, so that's a ways in the future. Ready Set Crit asks, favorite RP moment so far, Lydia?
Oh, it was definitely last episode when I got to be all serious and romantic and show my character's scars to her demon prince boyfriend.
Also, I think that the jet engine is just my computer. My computer also has a fan.
Yeah, mine's silent.
Yeah, it's not Lydia's this time. I think it's me. So if it's a very gentle jet engine. You know, Skyrus, maybe it's just you.
Sky, I think it actually might be just Sky with the lack of sleep.
Yeah, I think you're starting to hallucinate. The other thing, I suppose I should also answer the question, just because I have trouble remembering things, I would also say that last episode was my personal favorite RP moment, and it was just me, and it was the speech that I gave. I was very proud of it. It was
good.
Very good.
I have it clipped. I have to edit it. It's going to be a TikTok.
I'm so excited for that. I like having an easy way to listen to myself speak. Because it's all
It was a
about
good one.
me.
It was a good one. And then I feel I need to clarify. So Taco Baco, Tinkle Outside the Binkle. If you look up misspelled brand names memes, there's Taco Baco, Tinkle Outside the Binkle. There's Sabubby, Efreef. there's A&A.
Anyway, if those are all of the questions that you have for us, I am going to put an end to this 3 hours and 20-minute long stream.
But I'm likely going to be over in the Discord voice chat if anybody wants to hang out with me later today.
I will probably hop in there at some point in time today also.
Let me plug that.
Maybe also tomorrow. Who knows? I do have plugs. I am the plugger. I need to plug. I'm contractually obligated to do so. You can also join Skyrus in the Discord, as he's been there for 18 hours. Hey, we have social media. We have TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. You should check out all of those. Follow all of them, including our Twitter, even though we almost never use it. But one of these days we will. Visit our website, where you can buy our merch. Visit Lydia's website, where you can buy her merch. I'm not going to draw any attention to that catch, but it was pretty dang good. Other than Lydia's store, I believe this is the last day. I'm pretty sure that our sponsor, Regal Rollers, I think their Kickstarter ended today.
I'm pretty sure. I think today was the last day.
Pretty sure that today was the last day. But still, stop by, show them support. I don't know if they have their own, like, just a store where you can purchase their dice from, because you could also do that if they have that. Check it out. It's really cool. Buy Lydia's stuff. Do a whole bunch of things. Are there any other plugs that I'm missing? Probably. It feels really short.
I think you got it actually all covered, but with the sponsor thing, it's like while the Kickstarter is closing, part of the Kickstarter was for just their shop in general.
Yeah.
So definitely like check them out because they've got beautiful stuff that's going to be coming real soon to be available to everybody.
That's the one. Oh yeah, and enter our Discord. Duh. Do that.
I did that one.
Lydia.
That was the first one I did. I did that earlier on because I was like, hey, I said, hey, come hang out with me in Discord, and then I plugged it. It's up there. It's right
That's
after
fair.
Raiden goes,
fine.
let's go.
Fine, I'll believe you. Whatever.
I'm
Anyway,
staring right at it. Did it, Aaron?
There's so much pain in that last. I did it, Aaron.
I did it, Aaron.
But yeah, thank you everyone for stopping by. Those of you who struggled through the first 2 hours as I made characters based off of songs, which I very well may do again. I would love to like streamline it, and who knows, maybe even like make actual like character sheets, or if I'm ever good enough at art, who knows, maybe I'll even draw the characters. Thank you for the subscription, Hal. It was great to see
thanks,
you.
Hal.
You're showing up right as we're ending. It has been a blast. Thank you, Lydia, for showing up. I am going to end the stream. The only thing I have left to say is good luck and Godspeed, everyone. We will see you next time, Dungeoneers.
Bye.